Hello everyone. Is my voice is audible to everyone? If it is audible, can you let me know in the chat box? It's audible. If my voice is audible, can you let me know in the chat box? Everything is fine. Yes, thank you. Yes, you are audible. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Okay. So people, those who are watching this live in LinkedIn, I kindly just, if possible, kindly jump over to YouTube. Okay. So yeah, good afternoon. Let's go. Kindly jump over to YouTube. That will be great because we will provide some of the forms. Yeah, it is will be recording and the recording will be available in the YouTube. Okay, you can get it in the YouTube. It is freely available and you can check over here. Okay, so what is the training? What is we going to see is here is we're just going to learn about the getting started with React, the basics level, beginners levels part of it. So those who all are not even comes into like React, so it will be really helpful for those people. So we're going to touch those things. Okay, starts from the year 6 of JavaScript. You not even having like you need to have a basic understanding of JavaScript. Okay, you don't want to learn about much more things in ES6 and those things are not. Okay, you don't want to learn that because here in this workshop we're going to cover ES6 also. So but you what are the things are needed is you need the basic things of JavaScript, that is enough. Which if you don't have any JavaScript skills, I highly recommend just watch the first before the, I think it is June month, uh, before 2 weeks. Okay, so there is a JavaScript workshop for beginner level is taken. Kindly look at that. After that, you can watch it. You will get a better understanding. And ES6 and advanced thing you don't want to learn. Okay, so if you don't know, that is absolutely fine. We will going to cover what all are the things that is necessary for kickstarted with JavaScript. We go like to start with React. We're going to cover it. Okay, so here we will do everything. Okay, is it yet started? We're going to start it now. Okay, we're just going to start it now. So just a minute. Okay. So what is how the course curriculum is going to be is that let me show you that. So first of all, we're going to discuss about ES6, those things. We're not going to discuss all the things about ES6. If you want to learn the advanced concepts of JavaScript before Saturday, you can go for the last week Saturday. We have covered advanced JavaScript concept with closures and all those things. You just have look into that. That is absolutely fine. But if you don't want to learn, if you learn those advanced course concepts, but you want to jump into React fundamentals, that is absolutely fine. This workshop is for those people. So here we will cover the basics that is needed, only needed, okay, not everything. Needed for React base. Okay, we're going to cover that one. Once we done this, we're going to see about React basic. So we're going to React documentation. So we're going to see about see how it is structured and everything. And you're going to get to the blog website also. I will share you the blog website where you will find all the resources, GitHub resources, YouTube resources, and also each and every line. It's like a documenting websites only. We will share you that. It's for our notes taking purpose. We will share you that one. So once that is done, then we will jump into hook concept. We're going to create a lot of things. Okay, so meanwhile whatever we are learning we're going to apply it. Okay, so if you don't have any basics knowledge in React, then it is absolutely for it. If you already have a basic knowledge and you know about a bit about hooks, you can also watch it, but there is not much here in this workshop. We are not going to need that much advanced level all those things. It's basically JavaScript to React part. Okay, so React advanced to master part will come in the next week. So during that time, you can expect a lot of heavy loaded React concept and more involved in hooks concept will be there. So hooks here we will discuss about some basic hooks only, and we're going to work with those basic hooks only, and we will start with that. Okay, yeah, started. And people who are on LinkedIn, I highly recommend if you capable to jump into YouTube, just jump into that. Okay, because there is a delay in streaming will be there in LinkedIn. plus we will share the Google form. You will get the Google form for sure, but there will be a delay in that, and also not that much quality of streaming will not available in LinkedIn. So you can just go to YouTube and you can just watch it. And meanwhile, if you have any doubts regarding JavaScript and regarding React, you can type it in the chat box. I will be there and we will clear it. Okay. So speaking about the workshop agenda, it's going to be 4 hours of workshop. You will get in between, you will get 15 minutes break, and you will receive a 2 Google form. So you need to fill that Google form. Basically, if you fill the Google form, you will receive a certificate from the team of TWD. You will receive a certificate and it will come to you. That is the participation certificate of that you have completed the 4 hours of workshop like that. Okay, it will be come to you. Okay, so that's it. So now what we can do, we can go and start with the React. And before that, if you have any doubts, you can just tell it in the chat box and I will be there and I will go through it and we can go for it. Okay, so first what we can do is, let us go for here. I just go and create a folder. Okay, so this folder is basically going to be React 1. All right, you can rename it because I have a lot of React on folder. React workshop. It's going to be slow and steady workshop. So you will get a grasp or lot of knowledge in the beginner levels and you will understand it. And this is not also going to be a practical section. We're going to write the code and we're going to apply it in the real world and we're going to find it out how the React is working with each and everything. We're going to structure it and we're going to do it. Okay. So that's what it is. So starting from, I mentioned, we're going to start with ES6 that we actually necessary and then we're going to jump into it. So before that, I will tell what are the tools that are needed for you guys. You need to download it. Okay. So we will go for that and then we will move on. Okay. So yeah, let's start it with, yeah. So basically React. What is React? React is going to be an user interface library for JavaScript. Looks like it is going to be the front end library where we will create user interface, seamless user interface. We have a lot of advantages while we are creating that, and we have a wonderful documentation of documentation is also there. Recently, the documentation is a little bit changed and it is converted. We'll discuss all those things later. So, what are the things that you need actually is you need to download Node.js. Go for the Google and search for Node.js, and you will find out this Node.js. Just download it like any other software. How you download, you need to download it, and you need a code editor. I know that you are you know basic JS and everything. You just want to do this. Just download the latest version. If you are in Mac, just look into that according to Mac version and download it. And once it is done, I highly recommend go and download Git Bash for you, okay, or any other terminal instead of the Windows terminal. Okay, so you can go for any other Linux terminal and you can download it and you can just use this one that is highly good. Okay, so now these two things is needed. You just want to get started with that. Once you're done with that, you can just go and we can just go to the React.js. Okay, going to React.js, we need to learn about some of the JavaScript concepts that are considered as the ES6. So those concepts are going to be ES6. Can anyone tell what is ES6 and what is ES? Can anyone tell it in the chat box? We will go through it. What are the concepts that we need to learn it in the ES6? We need to know about classes and class inheritance. Okay, we need it for this, and then we need to know about modules. Need to know about the destructuring, and then we need to know about once we completed destructuring, we need to know about the spread operator and rest operator. In our case, it's not that much needed. And we just want to the ternary operators and we need to know about so much of things, conditional runtime, conditional operators, and then template literals. Those things will be there. So those are small things. Except this class and classes inheritance, a very big, big concept that we actually covered it in the previous Saturday. So have a look into that. If you want to go through much dive deep into this classes and class inheritance, you just want to. So voice is not clear. Just a minute. This is breaking. Is my voice is clear? Is my voice is clear now? Hello, 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 hello. Is my voice is clear now for all? Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. So these things we're just going to give a gist about this, and once we completed this gist, then we jump into directly React, and we're going to create application, and we're going to learn it. That's a good style to learn React. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So yeah, if anyone know what is ES6, tell it in the chat box. What is ES6? What is ES? If you already attend that, just tell it in the chat box. Okay. So let us go. And meanwhile, here inside this React workshop, I will create another folder. Basically, this folder is for our ES6 concept, okay, which all are essential to kickstart yourself with the React. And here we open it with the terminal. Okay, so inside this ES6, we're just going to create index.html. Guys, anyone tell what is ES6 and what is the use of ES6? Just in the chat box, we can just quickly start over it. And I'm creating another folder that's for app.js. So if you want to revise, you can come into ES6 folder and we can take over how can we work with the ES6, and then we can share over that. Yeah, it's 𝐏𝐚𝐫 6. What is it? Actually, I'm asking what is 𝐏𝐽? Sorry. ES6 modules. 𝐏𝐼. So don't worry about it. Just creating the basic HTML and linking that with my script tag. That's what it is. Okay. Okay. So just go live. Added some more feature into JS like Christ spread. Okay, cool. Hi, Moman. So basically, let us go with some little bit basics, and I just started with. So 𝐼𝐼. Okay. Okay. So what is 𝐼𝐼? Is 𝐼𝐼 is a separate language? The answer is yes, right? ES6. Then 𝐼𝐼 is another name for JavaScript. Answer is no. 𝐼𝐼 is an separate language like JavaScript? No. So what is actually 𝐼𝐼 is? So 𝐼𝐼 is basically the standard that gives the rules and regulation how JavaScript need to be performed in the browser. Simply rules and regulations how JS need to be performed in the browser. So why it is needed? So as we know that JavaScript is the only one client-side language that is available that is used to communicate with browser, right? Is that Python can we can use it as a front end replacing JavaScript. For example, if we take backend, we have programming language Python, Java, Ruby, and we can use it, so much of languages, right? Each and every language we can instead of Java we can use Python, instead of Python we can use Node.js, we can use seamlessly other language. Right? Same like this, and but come to the front end. So we have JavaScript. We all know JavaScript is also, people will say it is a programming language, but it is scripting language. But fine, it is also considered, we can consider that as a programming language. So is that anything other than that we can replace JavaScript and then we can use anything? So right now only Python is getting towards the front end, but
Python, it is not yet completely replaced, right? We know only JavaScript is the only one language that is communicating with the browser and seamlessly changing the user interface. That's what it is doing. But how? So what something that JavaScript is having that is not having with uh, Python, Java, and those things, right? So what special thing that it is having that it can able to communicate with JavaScript, right? Yeah. Yes, it's the 60 version of JavaScript. Yeah. So that's it. So what is the one special thing that is JavaScript having that is not, that is absent in all other language? That's why it can able to do it. Well, JavaScript is not having any special things. So basically, the browser is giving the supports. So basically, when I have JavaScript, what is actually JavaScript is going to be? And also you can able to see this standard color. These all are comments. Okay. So I think you know that. Uh, Meanwhile, let me do one thing. I will write comments like this. It will be much more better. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So JavaScript is basically, what is JavaScript is basically going to be? JavaScript is going to be a file that contains, that we will write it in the language of English, right? So is that English is the language that browser can able to understand? Not only browser, the computer can able to understand. The answer is no. It can able to understand JavaScript. Same like this, whatever language that we are writing is anything is not understandable by the browser. So that's why we have the interpreter and compilers that will interpret and compile the code. And that will happens in the backend and servers. It will do those things. What about the front end? We don't have any interpreters or compilers that compiles our codes, right? So that is why the browser came into picture. See guys, when it comes to a front end, when we are speaking about the user interface, without browser, JavaScript, it doesn't have that, like we are speaking about JavaScript is one of the powerful language, right? We are saying that everything JavaScript can able to do, right? Without browser, JavaScript is just a scripting language, right? With the help of browser only, JavaScript can able to do all the things. The asynchronous process, how fast JavaScript it is, and like JavaScript can able to communicate with the front end, manipulate the CSS, and those things. Everything is with the help of JavaScript, with the help of those browsers only. Okay, without browsers, JavaScript is a simple, synchronous, single-threaded language, which means it is a blocking language, not that much speed also. But with the help of browser, it is a non-blocking language. That all are covered in the previous classes. Just have a look into this. So what the browser is doing? So the browsers are creating the engine. Okay. So what is this engine? So engine is nothing but it is also a software that will convert JavaScript code into bytecodes. Yeah, that's what engine is. We cannot say we have interpreters. In engine there are whole other concept is there. Okay, so in engine we have a interpreter also is there, and there also we have compilers also is there, and that is called a zip compilation. We have covered that in the previous week, I hope so. We just have a look into that. Okay, so what is this engine is basically? So engine, what it will do, it will take the JavaScript and it will convert it to the bytecodes. So are low level programming language codes that the machine can understand, that the browser can understand. Okay, so this is the way it is happening. So basically we have JS, and this JavaScript is a file, and that is given to the engine. That engine is taking that, and the engine is then transfer the code to the browser. The browser can understand. So this is the way of communication. Then the browser communicates via through the engine according to the JavaScript, according to the engine JavaScript. Likewise, it is the communication. It is happening. So in engine there are several processes there. It will and all the process also covered in the previous class, right? If JavaScript can able to interpret the code also, and the compile also it can able to do. But basically when JavaScript was introduced, it is an interpreter. It will do interpretation, but now JavaScript can, it will do the interpretation and the compilation. That's both thing it can able to do. That is called as JIT compilation. Just have a look into the previous video, you will got it. Okay, so this is going to be the picture. So what is the issue with this? What is the issue with this? What is the issue we have with this? So the issue we have is, imagine how many browsers we are having. Imagine how many browsers we are having. We have Google, Firefox, Safari, and so much of browsers we are having, right? Then who created this engine? Like each and every browsers are creating their own engine. For example, V8 is the engine created by Google. Okay, V8 is the engine created by Google. Okay, and I can say SpiderMonkey is the first engine created for JavaScript, and right now it is used by Firefox. Like this, we have Nitro for Safari. Like there's so much of engines is there, and each and every engine, what the work of the engine is to convert the JavaScript file to this browser can able to understand, Chrome to understand. V8, what is the work of V8? To convert the JavaScript file into bytecode that the Google can understand. SpiderMonkey will do that, and it will to understand by the Firefox. Okay, so this is the work of the engines. So what is the problem here? So the problem is these engines are created by different developers, and those engines are created for different browsers. Okay, so what will happen if I give a single, if I creating an e-commerce website and I have a JavaScript file and I'm giving to Google. Google have their own engine. They're going to convert the code according whatever, like it is taking the code and according to the misunderstandable code. Okay, so it will convert the code and it will be work. And the same e-commerce website, I will just passing to the Firefox. I'm asking for the Firefox. Firefox is having their own engine. This engine is different. This engine is different. Both are built different. The work is similar, but both are built different. And they're going to convert the code. Okay, they're going to convert the code to understandable by the Firefox browser. Okay, so what is the issue here is we cannot say that the V8 engine, what is the result that V8 engine gives? The same result is going to give the Spider-Man is also going to give. Okay, so the simple understanding is very simple. If I have uh, if I have two cameras, okay, so just imagine both all are going to take a picture, but I cannot say this camera with like we can say like I have an iPhone and I have an Android, and I cannot they are both going to have the same pixels and everything, the same ratio, everything is going to be there. It is also going to take picture and this is also going to take picture. We cannot say that the quality of the picture is going to be same in all the devices, right? Both the devices. Okay, I cannot say that which is giving best and which is not giving best. Same like this, I have an V8 engine that is created by some different developer. They used some different methods to create those engines to convert to bytecode. Spider-Monkey is created by some different developers. They use some different method that is convert the code. So if I give a file to both translator, you can understand like that as a translator that is translating our code, compiling our code. Okay, it is just going to compile our code, but I cannot say that what exactly I'm getting in this engine, it is going to be get in this engine also. Right? We cannot say that, right? Why? Because the method and how it is worked, how it is created is different. So that's the reason if I give JavaScript file to Google, it may be work fine. But if I give the same JavaScript file to Firefox, it will not work fine. It have some issues. Something will work, something is not work. If I give the same file to Internet Explorer, nothing will work. So that is the issue that we are having. So because each and every engine is created and built differently, right? So that is why you can able to see that if you go to any documentation website and you can able to see there will be a warning sign that this method is not available in Internet Explorer. So if you are using this method, then this method will not support in Internet Explorer browser. If you cannot see any other programming language having this sign, but in JavaScript they have this browser sign, it will be there. Okay, Internet Explorer is not available. It is not, this method is not supported by these browsers. This method is supported by these browsers. Like that, they have a notice will be there. So this is the problem that we faced when JavaScript came to market, and every engine, some website will work fine here, some website will not work fine here because of the compilation happen. So then what happened is then the 𝐏𝐚𝐫 come into the picture. So this is the problem actually we are having. So then 𝐏𝐼𝐺 comes into picture. So what is 𝐏𝐼𝐺? 𝐏𝐼𝐺 is not something a programming language or anything like that. Okay, so 𝐏𝐼𝐺 is an European Computer Manufacturing Association. Okay, European Computer Manufacturing Association. So when Europeans produce company like and they distribute it all over the world, those association they are forming the rules and regulation. Rules and regulation. Okay, so those rules and regulations are called as 𝐏𝐼𝐺 script. 𝐏𝐼𝐺 script. Okay, those rules and regulations are called as 𝐏𝐼𝐺 script, and with the help of this 𝐏𝐼𝐺 script only, like what the rules and regulation it have is simply it will say if someone giving this output input, then you should produce this output. So 𝐏𝐼𝐺 script having this, if this is the syntax and this must be your output, if the user is giving this input, then this is your output. So 𝐏𝐼𝐺 script defines this is the rules and regulation, and this is how JavaScript need to be performed. Based on these rules and regulations, browser accept the standard and they will create their engine according to the syntax, according to the rules and regulations. Okay, so that is why if ECMAScript is updated, Google, Firefox, all the browsers need to update their engine according to their syntax. Okay, so ES5 is the old version. It was 2015 before we having whatever things that we have. That is ES5. What is ES6 is after 2015. It is ES6. Okay, so during this time when ES6 was introduced, whatever method that we have in ES6, it is not supported by any browser. Any one of the browser is not going to support anything, any methods, because the syntax is totally different, and those things will not understand by this engine. So what this engines, what the browser developer need to do is they need to recreate the engine according to the syntax that they have updated. Okay, clear? So this is what you need to do. And once they updated the syntax, then we can use it. So that is why in between they will give the notice warning sign. This method is not supported right now. Okay, this method is not supported. This method is not available for this browser because those browser engines are not updated to the standard mode. Okay, so that's the thing. So what is ECMAScript? ECMAScript is basically a script. Basically, I'm telling. Okay, so this is if the user is taking this picture and this picture should be this quality and it should look like this. I'm just giving the rules and regulation how JavaScript should be performed in browsers, and based on these rules and regulations only, those engines are creating based on this. Okay, this is the input. I'm giving this output like that. Okay, so the engines are doing the work. So in this case, the rules and regulations are clear. So all the browsers need to be supported. If we are creating a browser and you want to run in your browser, you need to support JavaScript, then you need to accept the ECMAScript rules and regulations, and you need to build your engine according to the ECMAScript rules and regulations. And then what you need to do, we need to do is, and once all the browsers, so during the time we have no other choice, so all the browsers will accept it. Okay, all the browsers will accept the standard, and based on the standard only the engines are created. So right now also, if an ECMAScript is updated a syntax, engines need to update their engines, like browsers need to update their engine to accept JavaScript to their browser. Okay, and the advanced one is shared in the chat box. People who want to fill, you can fill it here, and I think both link YouTube and LinkedIn it is posted. But highly recommend if you are in YouTube, like LinkedIn, just come to the YouTube and you can chat with seamlessly. Okay, so that's the thing. You can just come to the YouTube. That will be much more better. Okay, so that's the thing. So that is the problem that ECMAScript is stand. ECMAScript is done. Okay, so ECMAScript right now you can have a clear understanding, right? We have different engines. Each and every engine is going to convert their code to structure those engine, how engines need to be performed, how to get the accurate results. Okay, so we're having the standard that is created by European Computer Manufacturing Association. Those association have the rules and regulations, and they every browser is accepted that. And right now there is a work is going on. You can see some different things is going to happen maybe in future. This without this ECMAScript, without this standard, you will maybe get it. Okay, so we are going on like directly converting your code to bytecode without engines. So that will it will become take some time. Okay, that's what is going on, and this is what ECMAScript is. So one of the ECMAScript. So right now you can clear it, right? So it is not JavaScript or any. It is not only for updating the rules. It is only for giving features to JavaScript. It is the standard. Without the standard, it will not work fine in all the things. Okay. Yes, got it. It's crypto. Yeah, just a regulation, like a government order, like GO passing to it, and everyone should accept it, and we need to work according to it, right? Same like this, just a script, and it having the input and output data, how JavaScript need to be performed, and based on, and that script is also not for us. It's taken by the engine developers, and who those who have in the engine, they're going to according to create it there, and there only the updation is happening. So in the year 6, after 2016, so what has happened? They introduced lots of changes. They touched the core fundamentals and they changed the syntax. Okay, so that's all are the, like I think Ranjit said, dealing with like arrow functions and those things. Okay, so the lot of changes, use cases, and lot of methods has been updated. That is what ES6, and from that itself, it is not only the last update. We have ES 12 till 2022. After 2022, also there is an update in that, but not much more update. But after ES6, what are the updation things that are considered as a modern JavaScript? They are considered as a modern JavaScript. And why we need to learn this ES6 is whatever the libraries and frameworks that you're going to right now you are going to use it, everything is written with ES6 only. Okay, they are not using the old school JavaScript syntax. They are going to use this ES6 only. In our case, it's going to be React. React is also each and every line is ES6. Okay, we don't have any other option. We need to use it. So that's why we need to understand the syntax. Okay. So in ES6 only, the first thing that we're going to see, in ES6 only, we have this classes. Okay, so we will complete ES6 very quick, guys, because already ES6 is taken very deeper in the previous class. But just for the introduction, we don't want to lose the people who are learning React. I just want to take it here. Okay, so classes is introduced. So now you can guess it. ES6 only classes is introduced. Then before 2016, JavaScript is actually without classes. JavaScript without classes. Then after 2016, JavaScript has classes, so we have the class concepts like that, right? Actually, that is also not true. JavaScript, we can able to perform object-oriented programming concept. We can able to perform it, but not the way like we are thinking. Okay, so classes is the takes the main topic, right? When it comes to an object-oriented programming language, classes is going to be plays an important role when it's we are doing that thing. But here JavaScript classes is just a syntactic work. Syntactic work, which means what is the syntactic work? So which means JavaScript in JS does not JavaScript is not a class-based object-oriented programming language. It is not a class-based object-oriented programming language. Classes in JavaScript is introduced after 2016 just to implement the syntactic work for prototypal inheritance. So all the class-based concepts, all the object-oriented concepts that we are performing here, it's all because of the prototypal concept. And what is prototype? What is prototypal concept? Again, already it's taken. Okay. So classes is right now you just want to understand classes is just a syntactic work. JavaScript is not a class-based object-oriented programming language. Remember that this one line, that is fine. JavaScript is not a class-based object-oriented programming language. If I use classes, it's just a syntactic work. With the help of this, we are performing prototypal concepts. And those prototypal concepts is a big concept. It takes 1 hour. We covered it in the previous class. Have a look into it. So now let's see how we can create the classes. So basically classes, if you don't know prototype, classes are nothing but it is a blueprint. Okay, it is a blueprint that is used to create a number of objects. Okay, so that's what it can do. So let's see how we can create it. For example, I want to create person classes. So this is the syntax. I will explain the syntax also. Okay, so this is actually classes is going to be. So before you want to create an this kind of things like a blueprint for your objects. Okay, so then you need to write a little bit big code, some weird syntax that you need to write it. Classes is omitting everything and it is giving the same look how other programming languages having, same look that we are having here also, but we are going to do it. Okay, okay, this is the thing. Yes, Ranjit, ES6 is just for another half an hour. Okay, that's only. After that, we're going to jump into React. Okay, like I said. Okay, so how can we create it? So if I want to create a classes, I just say const. It's going to be person one. Then you can use this new keyword. The new keyword is going basically is going to do everything for you, and you just want to create person, and inside this person you just want to pass whatever the parameters that is actually the properties that you want to create an object that you can pass it, and those things you can pass it in the constructor function. So you can pass it here name and then age. Okay, like this. So it's going to be name and age, and here what you can do you can pass whatever the property that you want to pass it, you can pass it. Like this, and here you can create this, and remember this. Here if you are using this keyword, this new keyword is very important, you need to use it. Okay, without that it will not work. Okay, so and I just this dot age equal to age. Okay, so this is actually classes. If I just go for console.log, what is person one, then you can able to see an object is created for us and that contain everything. And if you have a closely look, you can able to see prototype, and in this prototype you can able to see this constructor function. That constructor function is what creating object for us, and if you want to add any methods to it, you can add it down to here. For example, I can say details. Sorry. Return this dot name. Okay, it is going to return the name of the person. And here, if you go with, you can see it is this detail is added to the prototype. So this is actually to achieving this only. We are doing this, and why we need to achieve, or what we need to, why we are achieving this. What is the plus with this? That is all our prototypal inheritance. We covered it, and basically we are saving our memory by adding it to the prototype, and you can able to access this by calling this details. It will be work and it will be give your answer according to what you are calling. This is actually classes. So classes are basically going to be a syntactic store of prototypal inheritance. JavaScript is not a class based object oriented programming language. If you want to create an instance, then you can create a blueprint, and based upon the blueprint you can add it. It will saves your time, saves your memory, both things. That is what classes will do. Okay, so this is all about classes. And what is classes inheritance? So basically classes inheritance is like, we will use it in React whenever you are using the class based component, but we are not going to see class based component. We will see that, but not that much. Okay, so what is classes inheritance is nothing but why we have this prototypal concept and everything is, whenever I want to create more than one object, so those object is going to follow the same syntax, and it is going to, the functions are going to occupy memory in all the objects. So to save this only, we created this classes where we save our time and also we save our memory with the help of this class. And basically, what if I want to create an exact replica of a class? For example, the same replica of another class that contain employee, You can able to see the same problem that we are having is, you can able to see the same constructor, the same property, everything is going to be same. Only the syntax is different, right? But expected it is going to be same. So in this cases, what we can do is we can use the inheritance. So which means we can create a prototype with the help of this prototype, which means we don't want to write it again and again whatever we want to write it, because basically right now it is very small. But when you are creating a big applications that contains a very big prototype, and that time you don't want to copy it again and again, you don't want to mess yourself with the code. So that's why what we can do is we just inherit from we can take this our parent prototype, and from this parent prototype we can able to create our own prototype that will enormously produces the object that we want. So how can we do this? So because basically that is called as prototypal inheritance. So here it is classes inheritance. Classes or a syntactic of prototype. Okay, so that is why prototype inheritance. How can I achieve this? So right now I don't want to write this, but I need to, if I give an object data, it also need to give the exact same syntax what this is giving. So how can I do this? Just say class and tell what is the name of your class. It's going to be, my case it's going to be employee, and it is extends. So extend is telling that connecting which prototype that you are extending. That is going to be person. Okay, so that's going to be the person. And here you can use the constructor function, and that is going to contain whatever you want to add. You can add it here. I can say name and age, and here I just going to say experience also. And we know that this name and age is already available in this person, right, in this person prototype. So what can I do? I don't want to write it again, this dot name, this dot age and everything. I don't want to write it again. I can use a method called super. Okay. What the super method will do means, the super method is going to take up the value from its parent prototype. So whatever available, you can just give here. I just want the name and age. So that is what available, and I want it, I just take over here. And experience is not available here, so I need to write it here. So because it is an extended of my parent. Okay. Just say dot experience. Okay, dot experience. And here I just going to say about, it is going to be experience that we are getting from the parameter. Okay, that's it. And here what can I do? I just say fonts my employee equal to new employee. Okay, here you can pause. You can see it is asking for name, age and experience, and you can pause all the data without writing this. It will be work. For example, John, and you can say 6 console.log employee. you can able to see we are getting this. And not only that, if you click the prototype, you can able to see the prototype that is created this object. And if you click further, you can able to notice that this prototype, it is created by this prototype. So it is a parent prototype and this is the child prototype. And with the help of this, if you are creating an object, that object has the ability to get the method that is available from their parent prototype. Okay, for example, you can notice that this is the prototype that is created this employee object. But here we don't have any methods, right? We don't have any method. You can see we have only constructor, no other methods available. But if I ask for dot details, okay, so this detail method is not available in this object and also it is not available in this prototype, but it is available in this prototype. But still we can able to access it and it will produce the answer. How? So this is how it will work. So if you are creating whatever the object that is created with the instances of prototype, you can always have access to your prototype method. Not only the prototype that creates you, it also goes top of the chain and you can able to get it. Top of the prototype chain you can able to get it, and the top prototype chain is going to be an object. That is what actually JavaScript creates everything. Okay. So this is all about prototype and prototypal inheritance. Okay, I know that. I hope you already know that. Just for people who don't know this, I just give it this. Okay. So this is what it is, and this is basically used in the class-based component, and we are going to use it here. Okay. So meanwhile, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create another folder, and in this folder, we're going to jump into React. And whenever we are writing some code in React that needs JavaScript, then we jump into ES6 and we see how it is working with an example. Then we apply it into the React, because I don't want to like teach all the ES6 without teaching React. Okay? So that's it. So now what we can do, let us go for our terminal. You can use your terminal, but make sure that change it to Git bash, or you can go with the Git bash terminal. That's what I prefer to tell. Okay? So here what you can do is you can see where you are right now. Okay, so you can see we are right now in the React workshop, right? So just write pwd, which is which uh, directory that you are in, and you can use the ls to see what are the things that is inside. We have ES6 is inside. So I need to create another file, and that file is going to act for our React folder. Okay, that's for React application. So for creating a React application, you can use npx, that will install the latest version for you. And you can use a command called create dash react dash app. And here you can tell the folder that you want to, like the application name that you want to create. So the folder name is going to be, I can name it as, let's say ecom. Okay, we go with ecom, okay, like this. And what it will do, it will create a file for us, like a starter package for us. And once it is created, it will be loaded here. Okay, so you can able to see we created, it is started to create the ecom file and whatever the name that we have given, and inside you can able to see this package.json. Okay, so we are jump into React and we will see the ES6 correlating with this here. Okay, so it will take some time to, right now I'm streaming, so it is taking a bit time to load it, and it will time. And meanwhile, if you filled the form, just tell it in the chat box if you filled the unknown form, or else I will send it again, or you can just scroll it down, you will get it. Okay, so we will get this package.json, and inside this we're going to get our starter package, and that starter package is going to contain everything. Okay, so we will see that one. Okay, it started to install. So meanwhile, we will discuss other ES6 concept also. Once it is completed, then we will jump into React and we will see it. So other thing that we need to discuss is about destructuring. Destructuring. Okay, so this will be helpful in while you are passing the props and everything. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so destructuring will be there. And what is actually destructuring is? So destructuring basically going to be, this is basically going to be whenever you are having a list of data, you want to particularly take out a particular data and you need to store it in a variable that you're going to use it again, like more than one time. Then you just want to do a process. That process is called as destructuring. That is shortened in ES6. You can do that very quickly instead of going and writing every time like that. Okay. For example, I will say we have an employee array. You can say employee. Okay. So this employee is going to contain a name of the person. Okay. Let me take some names. Okay. So let me go with John. Do like this. So we have this name. And if I want to, what if I want to take over each and every name and I want to store it in a separate variable like name one, name two, name three. So how we can do it in the old ways, how we can perform it, we can say const name one equal to. So how we can access a variable? So we can say employee square bracket 0, right? So this is going to be the index of it. And once it is done, then we just ask it in the console.log whether the name one is given like this. And what we are getting, we are having this job, right? And same like this, we need to do for each and everything. Okay, employee one is for the first sentence, is for the second sentence. And name is equal to name two, name three, and here name two, and then here it's going to be. Let me save it. You can able to see John B and Johan here, right? So we are getting this. Yeah. So we are getting this. So this is how we will do it. So the new way how we can do this is you can just simply instead of writing this, you can just say const. If it is an array, you can use square bracket here in the identifier place, and you can use the employee, which array that you want to destructure, you can use it here. And now you will have access to all the things. So when it comes to an array, you need to focus on the order. So what order that you are giving, same order that it is going to take. For example, here I just want to take up name one, name two, like this, and I just ask for console.log name one and then name two. If I save it, you can able to see the same process is happening, but we can do it very quickly. And what if you want to leave this second name and just want to take this? I don't want to extract this information from my array. So in that cases, you just give a empty space. If you give an empty space, then that value is going to be get ignored from the array and it is jumped into that one. Now you can get John and Johan and not this zero because the second order is just ignored. Okay, so this was destructuring case. The same process will happen in array also. So I think the streaming it's taking up more thing. That is why it is not installing. Just a minute. Meanwhile, what I can do is what we can do is let me. I already have some React folders with me. I just go and take that one. Hmm, React desktop. Yeah, we copy this one. Don't worry, I will delete everything. Then only I will post it because it is taking up some huge time. Okay, so here I just take this. Copy this folder. Okay, so now we are having this. So this is once you run this command npx create react app and with your folder application, basically you will get something like this. Okay, so you will get a public folder and you will get a lot of things. Okay, what you need to do is delete everything except this index.html. Whatever other folders that you are having, that you can delete it. Yes, yeah, that is what a destructuring is. Okay, so just delete everything, all other things, and in src you have so much of things. Delete everything. Meanwhile, I'm also going to delete everything. I'm also not going to take anything. I'm just going to take the css and just this index.html. Keep it with you and delete everything. Okay, so only index.html and index.js is what we need. No other thing is needed. Just delete everything. Then that's it. You can have it. And whatever whatever here it is having it, you have so much of things, and below also you will have so much of things. Just remove everything, and what you need to have is import react from react. That is, we are using react app that we need, and then import react dom from client. That is, we actually need it, and we don't want this. This 2 line code we need. We discuss what it will do and how it is going to work and everything. And this will become defaultly. Okay, you don't want to do anything. Just remove everything and just keep this code itself. We will discuss how it is. Okay. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do, I just go inside the ecom directory, cd to ecom, and I just say npm. I hope you say npm or beyond. Yeah, npm. Just use npm install. Okay, so you will get a node modules also. Okay, so that will contains all the packages inside it. Okay, so by default whatever packages that you have, it will be inside. So what we are doing is we need React and React DOM. React is actually going to be the library that we're going to use it, and that is coming from inside this node modules. If you go inside this node modules, you can able to see what all are the npm modules that are available, and if you scroll down you can able to see the React here. Yes, this is what we need. So this is the module that here we are importing and we are using it. Okay, so you don't want to touch anything, but here it is coming. And what is for React DOM? So React DOM is basically whatever we are going to write it here, we need to render inside this HTML. So let us look into this index.html. If you have a look into this index.html, you can able to see this. Till here it is a head. Whatever inside this head we don't want it, I just close it. So whatever inside this head we closed it. And you can look into the body. We have no script tag and we have a div that contains nothing. It contains empty, right? This contains only root. So what we are doing is whatever we're going to create inside this React application, we going to pause all the components inside this div only. Okay, so that is going to be the whole thing. So we will discuss that one very quickly. Okay, right now it is empty. So here you can notice that document or get element by id, a DOM operation that we are performing, and we are getting the root element, right? So what is this root? So root is basically this element. So what we are doing is we are getting this element and we are creating a root for all the component to render. So what is component? Discuss again. We will discuss it. Okay. So this is what we are doing. This is the basic structure we need. And once we done this, we just want to run run. So npm go for this package.json and you can able to see this start script. So it is going to use to start our server. So I just want to run npm start, and here we will go with very scratch. Don't worry, just understand the structure. Delete everything, just keep it yourself. Then we can write everything. Okay, you can see the development server is starting, and in localhost 3000 we are going to rendering. It is going to show me an error basically, or it is going to show me an empty thing because we don't have anything. So let me keep this one like this and here. So here we are having an error. It is telling that app is not line number 11.6, app is not defined. So here you can notice where it is. So it is here app is not defined, right? So basically you can look into the syntax. There is like an HTML tag. We are writing app and just give a space, and it is a self-closing tag, right? Basically how we will write our HTML code, we will write like this, right? We will write like this. And if it is a self-closing tag, how we will write? For example, in case of images, we will write like this, right? Instead of this we will write like this. Okay, and here you can able to see this slash also. So it is a self-closing tag. So what it is means, it is components. Okay, so what is actually component is? So why we need to create React instead of JavaScript? We have JavaScript and JavaScript is performing good and it is can able to do anything. So then why we need to create React application? So first thing, you just note this thing. The first thing is here. Here in React, we are not going to. It is an basically an exploratory programming language, not an imperative programming language. So we go for the documentation. You can able to see the word. Uh, this here. Okay, let me do this. So React is basically an explanative programming language, but JavaScript is an imperative programming language. So what is the difference between those things is, in imperative programming language, you need to tell everything step by step. Okay, go and get the element. Okay, and store it in a variable, and add an event listener, and then change this and change the inner HTML, and then send it to the browser. All those things are step by step things that we will do. So that is why vanilla JavaScript is a little bit tough. Okay, but what does React will do is, React is an explanative programming, so which means you don't want to tell step by step. So what you need to tell this is my starting phase and this is my ending phase. You just want to give these two things. This is my starting phase and this is my ending phase. And React will find out the best way how to convert the starting phase to ending phase when an event listener is happening. For example, if I click a button, I need to change the button to something else. Okay, so that's what I need to do. In JavaScript, I need to go and get the button and I need to add an event listener and I need to tell what you need to change and what is it you need to return, and then what how to send it, like we need to send it to the browser with help of DOM. So these sourcing we need to do it. That is imperative. And what is the explanative? So explanative is basically, I will tell this is the starting of my button, and if someone is click, I just tell that then it is going to be the ending of my button, and I don't tell how to change it. That how is absent here. React will find the best way to change the DOM manipulations. Here we are not going to touch, and this is the only place we're going to use this DOM document.get element by ID and all those things. And hereafter we are not going to use these things because React is going to take care of all the virtual concepts that we're going to system. One. And number two, breaking down into small things. That is going to be components. So what is meant by breaking down into small things? So basically, if I want to create an application, there is a principle called principle of separation and distribution. So what it says, when we are creating an application, we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript file, right? Each and every code is keeping separate. The reason, whenever I want to debug anything for JavaScript, I will go for only JavaScript file. I don't touch the HTML and CSS. So in this way, I don't touch my HTML and CSS way. So it's kept as it is. We are not going to mess up. Okay, that's the one thing. We have a lot of advantages when we keep the code separate. That's the one thing. So what in case of component is, here we are not going to create a separate application. We're going to create each and every component, which means you can able to see this button, right? So this button is going to be a component. This icon is going to be a component. This footer is going to be a component, and this card is going to be a component. And inside each and every card, this is going to be a component. And what we can do is we can create like an assets. Okay, so we will create like an assets, which means before we started to write program, we can create small components. Instead of building this entire application, what I can do is I can create this icon first, and I can create this one, and I can add all the effects what will happen to this icon and everything, and then I can create this search box and search box functionality, and then I can create this icon, and then I can create this functionality. I will create it. Once I created all those components, then what I will do, I can wrap it like small component things to a bigger component, and I will keep everything comes under a single component. Okay, and likewise each and everything I will do, I will create a small component, and at last I will group things together to a bigger component, and that bigger component, finally all the bigger components are merged together to form an application like this, and that is what we are passing here, and that is going to be rendered in our HTML. Still confusing? We will create components and we will start to look into it. Meanwhile, I just click on get started. Recently it is changed. I don't know where it is. Yeah. So here you can able to see how it is creating and how those things are creating. We're going to create it. So to creating components in React, actually two ways is there. One is class-based component, another one is React-based component. Sorry, function-based component. Mostly people right now using React function-based component. I also highly recommend go for function-based component rather than class-based component. But here in this workshop, we will discuss about class-based component also, but not that much. We will have a look into that how it is working. Okay, because whenever you are going for an work, people who use a class-based component, it's the code will be still there. It is still is using. Not we can say class-based component is completely old style. It is also using, but function-based component is on the trend. So you can go with function-based component if you are a newcomer, but learning class-based component is also heavily helps you. Okay. So what I can going to do is, here you can able to see an app is there, but it is not here. So that is the error that we are getting here. Solve this error. How can I solve this? Inside this src, you are not going to touch public folder. This is going to be the log, and inside this src, go here and just create a folder app.js. Okay, app.js, because it's going to be a JavaScript file, and I'm just going to create it. Okay, I just close it down. And here what I can do is, either if you want to import React, you can import it. And highly recommend you can use an extension that will write your React. If you just go for and search for React extension, you will get an this one snippets. Just download this ts7 React's native snippets. So that will give an some automatic completion for you. Okay, so that will be really helpful. Okay, so just download this yeah, just download this, and once you done this, just type rfce. You can able to see React functional export component. Just click here. You can able to get this basic structure. Okay, or you can type it on your own also. If you want to type it on your own, that is also highly recommended. So what you need to do, import. I'm going to use React, so I'm just going to say import React from React. It is coming from node module, and then you need to create a function. Okay, function, and here it is going to be app is going to be the function name, and note down this app is having capital A, not small a. So because it is going to be a component, function based component, I can write it here slash function based component. Okay, it is going to be a function based component, and here it should be caps letter. Okay, not a small letter, you should use caps letter. Okay, and I'm returning something. Okay, I don't want to see it now, I just returning something, and you can able to see export default app. So what is this? So whenever I'm loading this page, the default thing I need to export is this function. So that is why export, this is what ES6 import and export module. Okay, it is also introduced in ES6. It is an import and export module. Here you need to use export. Just write the function, JavaScript function like this, JavaScript function like this, and just say return what you're going to return, and don't care about what you are returning now. So I just going to say hello. Okay, I just want to return hello right now. I'm not writing anything. So, and once this page is loaded, the only thing I need to import from this page is this app component. Okay, that is what I'm doing right now. It is exported. So if I want to use this particular function anywhere in my file, then you, for that I want to use it, means here I need this app.js file, because this is going to be the topmost component head that we wanted. I just want to use it here. So here I can import it. I can use import, okay, and capital A, and from dot slash A. Okay, so dot slash is going to be the same directory app.js. Okay, once you've done it, just save it. Okay, once you've done this one, just have a look into it and just save it. And here you can able to notice this hello. You can see we are getting this hello here. Okay, so we are getting this hello. So now what we need to do is, so this is actually a component. So right now what we have created, it is a component. Same like this, we need to create small components, and then we need to group it together, and then we need to join it together. So let us go and create an application with the help of Bootstrap, like the way we know, and then we can understand the whole structure of how React works. Okay, so what we can go is, just go for this app.index.html. We're going to create application, and you can notice in this head, I added a Bootstrap defaultly. I just going to remove this one because I want to add it from scratch for you, and I just want to write it. Okay. So same like this in HTML CSS, if I want to create a Bootstrap application, how you will create it? Same like this, I need to go and create, and I'm going to understand the React structure. Let us click on here, and I just go for Bootstrap. If I go for Bootstrap, you can able to see this Bootstrap. Just click on this introduction and just scroll down. You can able to see what are the serial links that you want to add. So the serial links, copy the serial links, go for your index.html. This is, you need to add it in the top of your file. This also, just go here and below all the link, I just going to paste the bootstrap link here. Okay, I added the bootstrap link and I saved it. And for JavaScript functionality, some functionality, I just going to copy this one, scroll down, and here I just going to paste it. And if you want to add this poppings plugins JavaScript, just add it here. That's it. So we have added now. And once you added it, you can notice this letterings. It is changed to some other different style. So that is actually Bootstrap is doing. So we just added it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to create an entire application with the help of Bootstrap. Okay, but in the way of React. Okay, we're going to pass down each and every application and we're going to create it. Let's see how we can do it. Let us go for Bootstrap. And first, what I want is, I want a nav bar. Okay, whatever application, I just want a nav bar. Go for components, scroll down. What are they? They are components. Basically, we need also components like assets. Okay, so now I just going to create a nav bar. So I just click on nav bar, and you can able to get the sample example of how nav bar should look. You can able to see how it is looking. If I just view it in the full screen, you can able to see this is how this nav bar will look. Okay, it is look good and neat. What can I do? Let us scroll down and I just copy the entire code. Go for this index.html. That's it. Only for just adding the link. Once it is completed, just I'm going here. Now I'm going to create my own component. That is the nav component. We can able to break it down further also. Logo component, and then that icon component, and then this particular hamburger component. We can break it that also. That is also fine. But here we are going for understanding the syntax of React. We are going. So now inside this SRC, what I can do is just click on this folder and I just going to say this is going to be my component. Okay. Inside this folder, I'm just going to say, well, this is going to be my now component. And I can use JSX as my syntax. You can, instead of JSX, you can use JS also. And instead of JS, you can use JSX also. We will discuss JSX. What is JSX? We will discuss very soon. And now what I'm going to do, we need to create our own function-based component, right? So I will going to write it. I can say import React from React, this one. And once you've done, create a function. And what is the name? Name is going to be now var. Okay, first letter should be cap using this curly braces, square bracket, sorry, curly braces and return. And what I want to return? Well, I want to return this entire component that I have copied from. Okay. And what I can do is I just scroll down and what I want to export is in this folder is loaded. I just want to export defaultly this nav bar as a component. Okay, so now you can import this component wherever you want to import. Just go for app.js. Instead of returning hello, what I'm going to return is just going to use this one, and here I just going to say now navbar component. Okay, and import it. So like this you can here and you can automatically see the import is automatically happen. If it is not automatically happen, just go and import it and write your base import navbar and just use dot slash component navbar. And once you save it, you are going to face some errors. We're going to debug it, and we know how to create component. Now I just remove this. Okay, so what is the error that we are getting? Compiled to an error, and we are having so much of errors is that we're going to debug everything. Okay, this way we can able to understand the syntax of React very quicker. So what is the syntax that React follows is, it is called as JS, it is called as JSX. So what is mean by JSX is, so basically writing uh, JavaScript inside your HTML code. Inside HTML, you are writing JavaScript code. Basically, combining your JavaScript with your React. Okay, JavaScript with XML. XML is the syntax that HTML exactly the same HTML follows. Okay, so JSX is basically, you can notice that this is an JavaScript code, and inside JavaScript, I'm writing an HTML code. And if I want to write a JavaScript inside this HTML also, I can able to write it. That's what JSX is. So what are the rules? The first rules is Though we are going to write HTML and JavaScript in same in the single component, okay, in the same in single component, we should not use the reserved words. We should not use the reserved words in React. Okay. So what is meant by reserved words? Const, let, function, class, all those are reserved words in JavaScript, right? We should not use those words in HTML. Okay, so in the HTML that we're going to write it now in the JS. So what is meant by that? You can see that classes is a reserved word that is available in JavaScript and also in HTML. We will give CSS classes for HTML, right? And that is also available. And for is available for loop and also available for label for, right? So label tag we have in this for, and those things should not be used. So instead of class, we have class name. You should use this. Instead of for, we have for name. You can use that one. Okay. So that's what you need to do, and that is the error that we are encountering here. First one, and second rules is every tag that is open must be closed. Okay, whatever tag that you are open, if you have an opening tag, it should be closed. Okay, if it is a self tag, in case of input tag, image tag in HTML, we just have opening tag. We don't have any closing tag. We have only image. We will type image like this, but we don't have this image closing tag because we are not going to write anything here. We will have something like this one. But then if it is not have, and same like this for input also, we have input, but we don't have this input closing tag. We just have input and type text. That's why we have. But these tags are not acceptable here. So what we need to do is we just want to give the self closing like this. Okay, this is the valid syntax that you need to pass it. When it doesn't have any closing tag, you need to follow this one. Okay. So if I click this nav bar, you can go here and scroll down. You can able to see the red color underline that will happen. It will be given in some places, and that's where the error is coming. Just scroll down. So here where is the error is coming is, here the error is coming from this HR in the line number 28. If we go here in the line number 28, you can notice here we have this HR tag. What is this HR? Well, this HR is basically going to be an horizontal row, but you can see the tag is opened, but it is not closed. It is just opened only, right? To close this, what I said, just give us space. Right now, this is an self-closing tag. Just save it. Then you are having an issue with this form. Just scroll down, you can able to see we have issue with the form because of this input, because the input is also in HTML. It is just have open tag, it doesn't have any closing tag. So for that, just give a space, and just give without space also it will work, but giving space is better. Okay, and close it down. And once you've done, well, the error is gone. Now you can able to see we created that Bootstrap application, that what we have done here. And now you can notice that I already said you should not use the reserved keywords. But here you can see all the things have classes, 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 and everything. So how can we avoid this? So it is not showing any error, right? So it will shows error. If you just go and console, you can able to see the warning sign, invalid DOM property, classes. Did you mean classes name? Yes. We just want to change this to classes name, or else it will be shows this. So basically what you need to do, you need to change everything. Okay, just you press the alt, click on all the classes. Okay, and you need to change it. Once you change it, it will be gone. I just show it for one component. For all other Bootstrap component, I don't want to show. You can change it. Okay, because it will not throw an valid error, it will throw a warning sign. So you need to change it. Okay, that's a good thing. Change this classes to class name like this. Like this. Okay, that's it. And now what you can do is just use name class instead of class. You just want to use class and save it. Now just go and inspect here, refresh the thing. So it's still you are getting this class name, means still somewhere the classes are there, but we are not used this one, class names. And you just want to change that one only. Here you can see we missed out the class and somewhere like this, somewhere we missed the class and class name will be there. So you just want to change that those things. If you change those things, it will be removed. And here you can see class name. Just remove this one. Just have a refresh. And now in some place class name. Okay. Just clear this. And now you can see we are getting other thing only like tab invalid DOM property tab index. So somewhere tab index is used. This is for Bootstrap. So you should use tab index like this. It is giving me the recommendation. Just go or search for tab index. You can notice here this one. Okay. Serve it, refresh. Now you can see no error. Okay, so that's what it is. This is what the minor syntax change it will be. You need to change, and same like this, you just break down the components, and that's what React is actually. So how we can break down this component? Same like this, you need to break down. I just go on quickly copy paste the things, and I will demonstrate and simple React application for you, and then the changes you can make the changes for everything like class name, class name, place name. Okay, because we need to do a lot. This is this just in what is React and how it is using. Okay, so right now we created a single component. So this is a one component. So, but not only this, what you can do is, if you want to break it further down, you can break it. For example, you want to break this logo only, you can create a separate component for logo and paste it. And whenever you want it, you can export the logo and you can use it. Okay. So I will show you an example how we can use the component again and again. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I just going to create, let me create a quick component section. I just go here and I just going to say hero.jsx, and here I just say RFCE. Okay. Just want to remember that one. Can we use create neighbor dynamic using JS? Yes, of course, we're going to discuss that one, how we can use this one. This is just a syntax only, okay? With this Bootstrap, how the component is working. We're going to see how the functionalities, how can we add our own JavaScript functionality and everything, we're just going to see, okay? So just, we will do this. Everything that what we are doing it in JavaScript, you can able to do with React without writing the DOM manipulation. That's what the plus is. Just go for this carousel. I just want this carousel only. So okay, let me take this, copy this one, and I just going to paste it here. Okay, so scroll it down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And here you can see we have this image tag. Image tag is also a self-closing tag. Just close this one, and then in another image, three image, I think so. Close this one. Okay, so the error is removed. You can notice here. Now you can go for unsplash. Go for unsplash. Take over some image. Okay, so just taking this, copy the image address, paste it here, copy image address, then here, and then copy this image address, paste it here, bootstrap. So now what is the other thing that we need to do? We exported it, go for the top component, then import it. Hero dot slash import. And first thing first, what we are getting error. So what is the next rules that you need to do is, so while working on professional project, client project, one question more, yeah, right way to create a now one. No, like I said, this we are not going to use Bootstrap. I just using Bootstrap to say how the components are working. Okay, so small components, how we are doing this. When we are working with that, we are not even going to use the this kind of Bootstrap. We are not going to link our CDN and everything. Okay, we will create our own component and we will write our own functionality. We're going to do all the things by our own, and we're going to create. This is actually a simple first thing to understand the syntax. Okay, simple project. And once it is done, we're going to create our own functionality project, and then we're going to create our own API project. We're going to discuss that one. Okay, so this is just for syntax. We can get this error right. So just for note it down. What are the JS error we are getting? So the first way I said that you should not use the reserved classes. You should close your tag and everything. So the third rules that you need to notice it. If you have a component it should return only one element. It should return only one element. What does that mean? All the components should be enclosed in a single parent element. Right now you can see this is a component, function app is a component, and what it is returning, it is returning two components, like which means two tags. It is returning two tags. JSX is incapable to return like this. Okay, what you need to do is in JSX, you need to enclose all your child tags into an parent tag. So it should return only one tag. So what does that mean? Well, you can create a div, okay? So and you can put all your tags inside this div. Okay. If we put all the tags inside the div, now what it is returning? It is returning this div tag. So only one tag. If I'm not able to return another tag here, so it is returning only one div tag, and inside this div tag I can put how many children I wanted. Okay, JSX returns only one parent element. Okay. Okay. Once it is done, just click it here, just refresh, and it's showing some error. Let us go here and inside this nav bar, just quickly have a look into what it is returning. We have this now. We have some image error. I think so. It is an app. It is from now bar. I just want to go for hero. Scroll down. Let me have this. This, this one. Okay. Let's go hero. Okay, I think the bootstrap. Okay, actually, yeah, it is working. I think some of the image that we copied is not working properly. Okay, let me change that image. It will work. What is this image? We just remove this image. Go for here. Copy image address. I think instead of copy image address, I copied something else. That's the thing. Let us go for here. Just have a refresh. Yeah, it is working. You can see this, and for final, just scroll down. Yeah. So, and you can set the height and width of this particular div that performing this carousel. Okay, so I can set the, yeah, when it comes to styling part, I can go with inline styling right now. So you just want to call the style, and you can able to see this curly braces. And in inline styling, if you want to perform an inline styling, that you need to pass it like an object. Okay, for CSS. So like this, you need to give and curly braces inside this, and you need to pass it like also an object. For example, if it is going to be height, okay, height, and you need to give, and everything should be a string, and height is going to be, I can say, 300 pixel, like this. And if I save this, you can see we are getting like this. And if I just give 500 or 700, like this is enough. Okay, and what you can do, you can if you want to give another thing, just give a comma. You can notice we need to give a comma because it is an object right now. Okay, you need to treat this as an object only. And if you want to add some any other background property or any other things property, that you need to give it in a JavaScript object only. For example, if I say background, you can see every syntax, it is in JavaScript object, not in an CSS file. Okay, instead of JSX extension, can we write? Yes, of course you can write it. Okay, you can write it, no problem. No issues is here. Either you can use JS or you can use JSX. Okay, anything you can write it. JSX is React or React based, and JavaScript JS is and JavaScript basically we write it. Okay, you can write it. Preferable, go for JSX or JS. It's anything, that's up to you choice. But according to Airbnb style writing, if you give JSX, that will be much more good. Okay, so this is how we will create. And right, this is how we will separate each and every component. Okay, so whenever we want it, I just call the name of the component, it will become. For example, uh, I want another hero section. Then what can I do is just call the hero section again, and you can able to notice another hero section is up here. Right, you can see the hero section, I just give on br, or I say uh, in okay, you can see this is an hero section and this is also in another hero section. So wherever you want it, you can just call it. So this way, if you want to create a cart, I can create only one cart, and whenever I want it, I can just call the cart. It will produce me entire thing. Not only this, we can able to pass dynamic data also towards dynamic data inside this. Okay, that is also possible. We see that how it's possible by giving another example. So what I'm going to do here, I just going to say this is going to be like I say, oh, my achievements. Okay, and if I want to write a styling, you can write a styling inlinely. You can write like text align. It's going to be, you need to give it in a string only, like this, and you can able to see this. Okay, so now I just going to show you what is meant by props. Okay, so remember the word props. So it does look like some fancy thing, nothing but property object. In JavaScript we have property and then method, right? Same thing. So what is JavaScript property and method? So well, this here you can able to see this one, right? Okay, so if you have an object const obj, okay, and here it's going to be the name hello. So well, this is the property, right? So what it contains? It contains the data of the object. Okay, it is going to contain data of the object. And what is meant by method? It contains a function, which means the behavior, the action of the object. Okay, so in React, how it is works means the data, this one property consider as props. This data and this one it is considered as props, and this functionality, right? A functionality of that particular object. Okay, so here we will discuss this one later how it is considered, but properties are the props. Okay, basically these all are information that is used to pass from one component to another. Okay, let's see this how we can use this one. Okay, how can we give the props? So for this I just going to create another component that is going to be my core component. I'm just going to say core dot js. As per your wish, I just go for java js extension, and I just going to say or of CE, you can use the short form to get this. And once you've done, go for this, scroll down, just click on this cards and scroll down. You can able to see this. I just go happy with this. Just click on here, paste it here, and just close this image tag with this. That's it. Everything is done. Only we need to give the SRC. Okay. So here I just going to give an SRC. I just going to search for achievements. Achievements. Just search for something like this. You will get some cool pictures and just paste it here. Okay, okay, let me take this one, copy image address, then paste it here. Okay, and I save it here, and export is done. Go for here, not here, this, and here we can import it. Or make sure it is importing properly, just place it here. Okay, okay, so here you can able to see we having something called a style prop expect to mapping from somewhere, and it is there is not. Okay, let us go for this code. Somewhere we created it, no? So it is showing some error. You can able to see it is throwing, it has some default width here. So this default width, it is coming from this, but this is not a valid JSX syntax. We know what is the valid JSX syntax. So what we need to do is, this is a style, and we need to create an object, right? Inside this object, we need to create a width as a property, and then we need to pass this as our value. Okay, like this. Okay, now it is coming fine. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. This. Okay. So this is what we are getting, and once we done, we are getting this, right? So now I just want this component, not only one component. Actually, I need four components. Okay. So what can I do? I can create another component, and I can make it as a code container. Code container dot JSX. Okay. And here I can say RFCE. Okay, it is going to be the code container, and here I can just paste it here, and here I can import each and every code. Instead of importing that, I can import it here, code. Okay, like this. And here in our app.js file, instead of here, what we can do is we can import the code container. Okay, that will contain all the codes. Okay, so like this. And let's close here. So we need this code container. So here I need actually three codes, not one codes. I actually need three codes. I just going to do it again. You can see we are getting here, and I just going to say code. We're having three codes, and you can give your own styling. So, or else if you want to add a styling, that is you need to add from some external file. What you can do, go for here, just create a CSS file inside this SRC folder, and just type app.css, and here I just going to say dot container. Okay, and I just going to say display is going to be flex. Okay, and like this. Now if I want to use it, come to this app.js and import it here. Why I'm saying you just want to import it here? If you import it here, then this style is applicable for all the child component. Okay, so if you import it in the parent, it will be the style whatever you are applying, it will be applied. You don't want to import each and every component. Here you can import it, it will be applied for all the child component. So I just going to say app.css like this and save it, and go for, if you want to use the style, go for where you want to use it, and you can use it. For example here, and in this div I just going to say class name, it's going to be the style is going to be contained. Paste it, save it. You can see we are achieved this, and whatever you are want to do, you can just view here like this. And right now we have come up, and now you can notice, well, that is cool. We can achieve this code. We don't want to copy paste everything again and again. That is very cool. But what if I don't want to show this data, that I just don't want to show the same data again and again, right? So if I copying it, then after copying it, what we will do, we will change the data inside it. But here in this case, we are not able to change it. We are just rendering the same component again and again and then again. So we are not changing. So how can I change the component? How can I change the data dynamically? For example, I need to change the image, and I need to change the title, and I need to change the button text dynamically. How can I do it? Well, that is comes under the props. Well, if you are creating an if you are creating a component, okay, you are creating a component, and that is considered as an object only. So it is an object where you can add your properties, which means you can pass your data dynamically to this component, and you can able to take from your child component. So this container is going to be the component that is rendering all our codes, and this code is going to contain everything. So you can pass the data dynamically here to this component, and each and every time it is passing, it will takes up the data, and it will go and it will change it here. How? Let's see how it will perform. So what we can do is here, in this core.js, you can pass your data. How? I can simply show you. I can just say props. You can give any name. Okay, you can I just say data. Okay, and I'm just going to pass an object. Okay, I'm just going to pass an object. That is going to be an image. Okay, the image URL I need to pass it. So let us go here and let me pass this image URL. Copy the image address. This one. Okay, this one. And now next what I want to pass it image. Then I just for structuring purpose I just going to like this. Okay, this is an image, that one property. So what is going to be the next one? So the next one is going to be the button text, right? I just say button txt, button text. So the button text is going to be well we can say that mm, uh, rank holder, rank holder, like this. And the title is going to be like rank college. You can say college achievement. This is okay. Same like this. What I'm going to do? I'm just going to render here. Copy this, paste it for 2 times. But the data are going to be different. So here in this, it's going to be title, not like this. Title, and title. And here it is going to be college. It's going to be, let's say, school, office, office. And here I say best employee. And here in school is an rank holder. Let me keep it like this. And now we can go and copy different image address and we can render it. So what I'm doing basically, I'm creating the data that I want to pass it. So how can you pass it? Just give whatever the name that you want to give. Okay, and that should be in a curly braces. And in my case it is going to be an object because that object is going to contain I'm going to pass 3 things. You can pass each and everything separately: image, title, and button separately also. So everything is the same data. So I'm passing it in an object. Okay. So you can pass it separately also, like data equal like image. You can pass it, and button you can pass it like this. You can pass it different data also, but I'm passing directly. So once you pass it, just go for your code section, and here what you can do is I can simply say this function accepts a parameter. That parameter is actually the value that what you are passing here, it will be accepted here. Okay, I'm going to name it as props. Okay, I'm just going to name it as props, not this dot prop, just props. And I'm going to ask what is props, console.log props. And if I save it, let us go for React, our application, right click and inspect. It will throw some error because we haven't changed it. Okay, now it is clear and just save it. You can see we are getting some data for 6 times, but actually we need 3 times only. It is giving me 6 times. Because why 3 times? Because we are called the card components for 3 times, so it will going to give 3 times. Then why it is giving 6 times? So this is because in our index.js file you can see this strict, right? Just remove this one. Okay, this is the one issue that it is having with the default React. Just remove this, and now you can able to see this. And this class name error, don't care about. You need to change it because I don't change it again and again. That's the reason. And we are getting it 3 times. So the first one is coming from the first code component. First code component. First time the code is rendered, it is having some data, right? So that data is different that we are passing here. So we are passing college rank holder, right? If you go here, you can see we have a data object, and in that data is contained another object, and that data contain college rank holder and image URL. And if you go for the second one, it having data object and it contains school rank holder and an image object. Go for the third one, it contains office, best employee, and an image object. So now just an image. What we can do, we can able to destructure our things. So how to destructure an object? How to destructure an object? You can just without destructuring also you can able to do it, but destructuring is the best way, that good one, that you can able to perform to write a neat code. How can we destructure it? Let us comes here, go for app.js. We know how to destructure an array, but we don't know how to destructure an object, because in my case it is going to be an object. So if it is an object, const obj is going to contain something like this data, and this data is contained in another object, a nested object. Okay, it is going to contain image, not image, I just go with title, hello, and I just want to write button text, right? I just say text, okay, hello. So something like this, like hey. So this is what the same structure, that is what we are having here also. So how can we destructure this one? Just a minute, why is it showing? Okay, okay. How can we destructure this one is in old ways. How we will do it? How can we do this? Means obj dot go inside. It is an object data. Go inside. It is going to be a title. Okay, and this is what, this is how we will do it. Const title is equal to like this. And if you want the text, const text equal to obj dot data dot txt, like this. This is how you will go and you will destructure. But now new time, what you can do is const, right? Const for destructuring object you can use the curly braces, just say obj, okay, or you can say obj dot data, okay, because this is the object that we need to destructure. You can say obj dot data, and what all are the things that you want to destructure you can tell it, but make sure that you should give the exact key name. If you make any spelling mistake, it will not destructure exact key name, because in array it is destructured based upon the order, but when it comes to an object we need to destructure based upon the name. So here I just going to say title and the text, the same thing that what we need to destructure it here. Instead of writing this, we can destructure like this. This is a new way. So what can I do? Just cut it down, save it, save it, go for core.js, and here I can paste it here, but title and text we need, not title and text, we need button text and title. So first we need to take this from props. You can see props is the object that is giving, and inside props we having this data. So this is what, this is the object that I want to destructure, data. So this is what I need to destructure, and inside title, and I need to title, I need button text, I need, and image I need. So I'm just going to say image, and I just going to say button title, button title, like this. And now this is where you need to destructure it. Right inside it, just get the object, what object that you want to destructure, you just want to write it here. Just click save and clear the console. Here click on console.log, what is title, text, and everything. If you get instead of object you will get the value, then you are successfully destructured. If you click it, you can able to see we are getting undefined for something. I think button text, you can see I write in button title instead of button text. We need a button text, I just say button text. Okay, if you write something wrong, then it will not correctly destructure. If I go now, and now you can see best employee, rank holder, college, school, office, and the image. So now we are getting those dynamic values, right? So I just remove this one. So I need to use this title. So where can I use it? So here comes the, again, here comes the template literals. So what is template literals? So here you are passing the data, right? So you can use it in a HTML code. Okay. So with a way for using that, you need to use this backticks, and you need to use this dollar sign with the curly braces. So inside curly braces, you can perform JavaScript application. For example, if you have like this h1, hello, okay, like this. So if you want to write, perform some JavaScript application here, you can use the backticks. what you can do is you can use the backticks hello, okay, and then you can use this dollar sign, and inside this dollar sign you can write your JavaScript application, okay, like this title, like this you can able to apply, and this title will come here and it will be used. So the same thing we're going to use it now. I will show you how it will work. Go for the card container, and here instead of this default image, what I want, I need to store, I need to replace that with my image, because every time my image is going to be changed, not going to be in the same thing. So what I want to do, I just remove this one, okay. Here use the backticks dollar sign like this, but this is actually we need to use it when we work with the HTML with JavaScript. But here instead of writing this, you can write it in a short form. How? Simply, you don't want to use this backticks and everything. When it is in the JSX syntax, you can just use the curly braces. If you are writing the curly braces, then basically whatever you are writing, it will consider it as a JavaScript. Okay. So here in SRC, what I want, I just want image. So this image is a variable that contains the image. So if you use curly braces, you can perform JavaScript variable. Not only getting variable, you can perform any actions. For example, instead of this code txt, what you can do is just use this curly braces and here tell what you want to perform. I say 5. Okay, I just say 5, and I just not only 5, I just say 5 plus 7. It is an operation that will be performed in JavaScript only. No HTML and CSS, right? If you just click here, you can see we are getting 12, 12, 12, and also you can notice that the image is also changed, right? So here instead of this, what we can pause the title. You can see college, school, office, and now what you can do, let me keep, if you want to pause the paragraph you can pause it, and here instead go somewhere, I don't want to go somewhere, I just going to say button text, button text, and I save it here. You can see rank holder and best employee, right? So what is basically we are doing, card container is a component, card is a component, and we are passing the data from one component to another component, and that is possible with the help of properties that is called as props. Okay, so basically here you can view the data like anything that you can pass it, and if you whatever you are passing, it will be get inside your component, which component that you are passing inside that, just pass a property, props, you can keep it any name, like same function parameter how it is work, you can keep it as it is, and once you pass it, here you can use the destructuring ES6. Without destructuring also you can work, but every time what you need to write, props dot data dot image, props dot data dot title, props dot data, like that you need to write it every time. Instead of this, you can use destructuring. Right now it is, you can use it anywhere. Okay, not only this, if I want to create this button, okay, this button, here we are having this button, right? This one, I think this one, right? Here we are having this button. So what if I want to pass this to an separate component? Okay, so I'm going to have a button dot js6. Okay, here I can say or of c or of cv, like this, and here instead of this button, go for here chord, and I'm just going to cut down this, inside this button I'm going to paste it here, and now here we can import it, button, we can pass it. But if I save it, you can notice this, here it is telling button text is not available because we don't get anything. I just say hello, and you can notice that we are getting hello hello. So already from container we are passing, container is the place we directly passing the data, and that is sent to code, and here we are getting it in the code, and now this code needs that particular data, that is going to be this button text, right? So you can, what I say, props is passing information from one component to another. So what you can do is, here you can pass txt, okay, like this, and here you can pass the button text, but you need to pass it in a curly braces. JavaScript, it is a curly braces you need to pause it. And once you pause it, now this button text, it will be available here like a props. Inside this props, it will be available. You can use this. And now what I want, I just want the this one, whatever the text is going to be your thing, it will be inside. Okay, so what I want is, I just want this button text. I can say button text, and but it will be come from props.txt like this. And here I can use the button txt. And now you can see this. Here we are not getting anything, so we faced an issue. So let's see what we are getting from the props. Console.log, what is we are getting from the props. Okay, let us go and inspect console, and we are getting an object, three object, that is going to be text. Okay, that is going to be text, not going to be the button text. Okay, so yes, that is what we are passing. We just pass the text. Okay, so I just mentioned here, sorry, I just want to pause this one like this, and I just want to replace with text. Okay, so what we are getting, we are getting an error. Text is there. Yeah, now you can see rank holder, best employee. So this way you can send your information from one data, one component to another component to another component to another. You can able to send it and you can use it. Okay, and this way you don't want to write this. Right now you can see we created button component only once, but I can use it for any time, anywhere I can use it. Okay, if I want to create, if I want to add a button in navbar, okay, what can I do? I can just go here inside this navbar. Okay, in some place I just found out, if I found a place inside, I just want to instead of this button I want to add my button. I can, what I can do, I can say button dot slash, I can pause it, but the button need a text. I just going to say text. Okay, text, and the text is going to be here. You can say, like, you can pause instead of variable, I can say like a new button like this. And if you save it, you can see we are getting the new button here like this. You can use it, and not only this, you can change the color, anything that you can pause it. Here you can pause a style property, and you can use that style property like wherever you want to pause it, and you can use it, and you can just use over it. Okay, so right now these buttons are not created every time in my object, right? I just created this button only one time, and I'm using it whenever I want it. I just using it. Same like this, you can create a component only once, and whenever you want it, you can change the data according to this, and you can use it according to whatever the things that you want to use it. You can. That's a, that's the one thing that it is comes to React. That is what the reusable components that's we covered here, and that properties covered here. So the next thing what we're going to cover is map, like how to render list. Okay, how to render list, that we're going to cover it. Okay, so let's see how we can cover it next. I'll go for this. Okay, it is going to be 5 o'clock. You will get a break till 5:15. Okay, 15 minutes break. Just you can come at 5:15. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. I think hope the first attendance form is already shared. Okay, take a break at till 5:15, and we will continue the class after 5:15. Sorry, I just write it wrong. Sorry. So class start at 5:15. Okay, take a break. We will see at 5:15 and we will continue the class, and we will quickly jump into some pretty orders. Instead of using Bootstrap, we're going to work on our own functionality, and we're going to do a lot of things. And also the second attendance form will be shared in that time only. Just take a quick break, and if you have any other doubts, just tell it in the chat box. And if you really like this video, just give a like and subscribe. We will see it in the next 2 hours within 15 minutes. Thank you. Hello all. Okay. So sorry. So let us start the next thing. So we're going to quickly stop because we need to do additional rendering. We're going to create that, and once we completed that, we're going to see about okay, we're going to see about how to working with hooks and how hooks is working and how can we work with the APIs also, how to connect the backend with frontend, and those things we need to left here. We have till enough time. We will cover it. Okay, this is fine. We will don't know, and I think we have time. Once we covered all the things, we will jump into class-based component and we will see what is how class-based component works. Okay, otherwise we don't want to touch class-based component because the React documentation itself they converted into function-based component. So it is always good what the particular team is focusing on. So they are right now focusing more into function-based component. So we don't want to touch into class-based component. So just go here. So we're going to discuss about conditional rendering. So what is conditional rendering and what is how to render list in the component. Okay, that's we're going to discuss. So here comes the next topic, the states. Okay, we are heading towards the state. Okay, props we discussed. We're going to see about the state. So just going to say and dot jsx. This is going to be another component. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is okay. So let me consider that uh, let me consider I have an array. Okay, I have an array. I just going to say const or list. Okay, this is going to be an array, and I just want to render this list inside my component. For example, the list contains objects. Okay, so what are the objects? Let me say the list contains a name. Okay, we go with simple example, then it will be complete. Hi ma'am. So go with simple example, then we will come to complex example. Then we have some names. Having names like let us go for Johan, Johan, and then go for Mohan, something like this. Okay. So we have a list of data we are having this. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we just want to render it, and I just want to send this data to my object. How can I do this? That's what we do. Right? So if it is a list, and here it is, you can able to see this one, right? So I just going to say rendering component. I just create rend.jsx. So this is the JSX where we're going to contain. Okay, this JSX where we're going to contain our name h1. So here only I just want to render all the name. Okay, inside this only I need to render all the name. Okay, and you can notice that in the previous example what we have done exactly the same thing, but instead of this we will pass with so much of data in conditional container data, right? In this one, right? But you can see we are repeating the codes again and again and again and again, right? So there is a better way to do this. Okay, that's what we are doing here. Okay, so let's see. Once we can like complete with this example, we will come here and we will alter the code here. Okay, that will be great. Okay, so let us go here in cont, and here what I'm going to do is, like I say, inside HTML you can able to use JavaScript, right? So this is JavaScript. Inside JavaScript, I'm using HTML example, and inside this I can able to use JavaScript. How? Just use this curly brace. Use this curly braces, then you can write all the valid JavaScript code. So now what I want to do is, since it is an array, I can able to iterate it. So just going to say list dot, you can say map. Okay, I'm going to use an arrow function. I think you know what is this, right? It's a syntax to for a normal function. Okay, I'm using arrow function, and map function, basically the function takes up three values, right? So I hope you know that. If you don't know, again explaining. it is a process of iteration. What this map method will do means it will take up this function and it will run on each and every element in the array. So the array is mentioned here. So it will going to take up this function and it is going to run this each and every element automatically, start to end. It will run it. And here, while running it, it will take up three parameters. One is the value, another one is the index, and final third one is going to be the array, which array that it is running. So these three values it will take. Okay. If I go, what we need this only value, right? So what I can say is return. Okay, I can say what I want to return here is I just want to return this component, rent component that I want to return. So I just going to say rent like this, and notice that here it is not imported automatically, so I'm just going to import it automatically. Import rent from component rent. You can see let it is coming. Now I just save it here. Okay. So now if I go and scroll and we need to import it in this to our app.js file. Go here, bottom of this, I just going to I just want to render this config. Okay, but not here inside the div. Okay, paste it here. Now you can see we are getting name, name, name. Okay, we are rendering the same component again and again, and we are getting the name, name, name. Okay, so we are getting it. You can notice this one. Why we are getting this? Because I said this, the map method is going to take up the function. The map method is going to take up the function, and it is going to run on each and every element in this array. So how many elements are there? There are three elements over there. So first time it will go and take up and it will run here and it will run here. So like three times it is going to run it. Same like this, it is going to run how many elements based on how many elements we are having, it is going to run it. Okay. So what I can do is here I can pass the prop and I can pass the value for that particular identity. Okay. And I can pass this. Okay. So how can I do this means simply I can say name. I can say it is an what is the value that I'm getting, I'm going to pass it. So this way what I can do is the first time rent runs, it is going to take up the value of first value. The second time it is going to return what stack or new. uh, we are working with react. Okay, and this is going to be John second time, it is going to be Mohan third time. Okay, now what I want to do is go for rent, and instead of this name, what we can use, we can destructure here. Here we can destructure, we can get the props here. So the prop is what we are getting every time, and here I just going to say const name is the thing that I want to destructure from the props. Okay, and here I just going to say name, and if I save it, now you can see we are getting John, Mohan, and Johan and Mohan, right? So we are getting this, right? So same like this, what we can do is we can keep all our data in our top of the file. Okay, we can keep it in the top of the file and we can use it and we can render it. Okay, so how we can, this is a simple example, but the same thing that is what we have achieved here. But you can notice that we are not achieving with JavaScript. Instead of this, we are achieving writing manually. The manual is not a solution. Why? Because imagine if you have around, they take out, if you have an e-commerce website, you have around 10 to 12 containers over there. Okay, every time you're going to copy and paste the code, no, right? And also it's the data is updated automatically. For example, if the data is updated, okay, consider this data is somewhere coming from original source, it is updated. So it is updated to my name automatically, then it need to render automatically, no one there to copy paste it, right? So I need to create the code component also something like this. How can I do this? How can we achieve this? We can achieve this by, instead of touching this code, here we can change the data by creating an cart component. Okay, creating, or let's block component. Let us go with block component. Okay, and we will create it. And here I just say the h1. I'm going to say my block. Okay, and here you are getting this my block. Just okay, simple. And now what I'm going to do here, this command is going to act my container, and I don't want to touch this code. So I'm going to show you how can we create an automatic block component. Okay, so let us consider this is going to be our data. So here, instead of names, I'm just going to pass an object. Okay, that object is going to contain certain information. Okay, so basically the image is going to contain the image URL. It's going to contain this, and here it will contain the image. Okay, so why I'm creating object? Because I want to group the thing, and I just want to title, and I just want the excerpt of the title. Okay, these things I need. Okay, the only these things, I don't want any other things. Okay, just want to show this thing. Okay, and let me copy the same thing. Okay, first we will create this one, and we will create everything. Okay, so this is what rendering your components, we are working on that only. Okay, just go for blocks, featured image, scroll down, quick, featured, I'm asking for featured image, it's showing me flower image. Okay, fine, I just copy this image. Okay, and I just say title is going to be wow, beautiful flower. Don't care about the typo, I'm bad at typos. Okay, flowers, and I just going to copy, or we can light some lorem. Just just lorem, just suggest some lorem. Okay, meanwhile what can I do? I can, meanwhile I'm writing this like this is something like this. Let me consider this is our lorem. Okay, like this. Okay, this is our accept. So let's copy this and remove this object, paste then another object, paste the another object. So you can see the difference between what we have done before and what we are doing now, right? So before, what we have done, we will pass everything into this component, but here we are grouping the data in the top of our function. Okay, we are grouping everything in the top of our function, and we are going to render it. Okay, that's what we are doing this. And I just remove this image, scroll down, copy image address, paste it. Okay, so this way it will automatically fetch your data. You don't want to write it again and again. It will create as much data that you are having, it will create as much as component for you. Okay, you don't want to do manually for your work. Okay, so now we have done. Now what can I do is, here it is going to render each and every time. It is going to render, it is going to here, and I can say everyone can able to hear my voice. Is my voice is clear? Can anyone tell it in the chat box if voice is clear? Means please. Breaking, now it is breaking, or now it is clear, right? Now it is clear, right? Not previously, I noticed that, that is why I'm asking. Now it is clear, right? Now clear, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, so basically what we are doing, we are passing this object every time. So first time the map renders, it is going to take up this as their value, and it is passing to my rend component. And second time it is going to take up the value, it is going to passing to rend component. Third time it is going to take up the value, and it is going to passing to the rend component. it is going to do this. And once we did this, you can just hover it to the value. You can see VS Code telling me what is that we are having. Inside value, you having an object. That object is contains image URL, string, props, and exert is there. So now I'm pausing it. Let us go here. And here, what can I do is, we will face an error here. Refresh. Okay, no error. Fine. And let us go inside. Instead of this, I just going to ask for console.log props to see getting console.log props. Okay. Okay. Right click inspect console. We are getting an object. That object is a blog object. So we need to destructure props.blog. Okay. So I just going to give props.blog. Okay. So this is what we need to destructure. And if I just render it, you can see we are getting this image, and here only we need to destructure. And you can notice this one more thing. We will come to that later after completing this. So blocks.destructure is what I want to destructure. I'm just going to say const, and here I just going to say props.block. Okay, and inside this condition, you can notice image URL, title, and exert. So these all are the things that I want to destructure. I just copy it because I don't want to make any mistake in the spelling. I just going to place it here. Just copy this, paste it, copy this, and then paste it. So now I just want a component like chords, right? So let us go for here, and we can check for any components are available, like button, badge. Let us go for chords, but looking for some different chords to show my blocks. Looking for some different chords, featured. No, I don't want this. Some different chord, different chords. Yeah, this one is perfect. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so here we having the image. I think it is containing two chord image. I want only one chord. Okay, I just remove one chord. Okay, I did cap 3, this 3 done, this 3 done, div is done, right? I think this one is the error. Yeah, that is done. Okay, so we're going to have this call. So now let me save it without doing anything. Go for React, and you can notice that we having this chords are coming here. Okay, we can do only one thing is display class name is equal to container, and now it will comes like this. Okay, okay. So now what we can do, we can add our block. Okay, and I can say display flex. Okay, let me keep like this only, no problem. Okay, this one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, we have destructured the things, right? Let me add. This is going to be my image URL, and this is going to be my title URL, and this paragraph, right? This paragraph is going to be my excerpt URL. Excerpt. So excerpt is basically the small gist about your block you will have within that. Okay. So now you can able to see your block. Wow, beautiful and those things. I accept this is not that much good looking, but you can arrange it to this one instead of container. I can go for class name, and instead of this container, because we have Bootstrap also we have container, I can say containers. Okay, now I just come here. Okay, containers. Okay, just a minute. We don't want to change here. Let us go for app.css container is evenly. uh, flex direction row with 30%. Okay. Okay. Somehow it is not coming here. I think it is because of the CSS we have MB3. Remove this one. Okay. This is coming here. Card image top, card body, code. Just a minute. CSS. Whether it is opposited column. Mhm. Why it is not taking up the place? Just a minute. Okay. Okay. The style somehow it is taking up the entire container. Okay, I understood. Not this is a container. Sorry, I need to make this our rend container. Is this is our container? Just a CSS problem, not about React container. Now you are getting this. Go for app. Remove these two things. Right? Now you are getting this, and you can set up the fixed height and width for your blog application, and it will be comes the exact height and width. Okay, eventually it will commit. Okay, so you can I can set it, okay, quickly, or in a container dot. Let us say that 30% of this thing, and height equal to 600 pixels, like this. Okay, take up this value, go for rent. Okay, like this, and this image height equal to 50%. 50%. Okay, style. Okay, now instead of 500 pixel I can say like 300 pixel. Okay, this is cool. This is cool and fine, and everything have the texture data. So now what is the thing is here is, when I put everything and I'm rendering it, if in case, for example, this one, right, we are maintaining all our data in the top of the file, right? If in case this values get updated, new data is get updated, like this two data get updated, what will happen? You can eventually see this, it is automatically updating here. The only thing we need to see is like this. You can see it will automatically, if the values is get updated, we don't want to go and copy it again and again. So what we can do, we can, if we get the value, and it will automatically came and it will show it in your front. Okay, it will show it, and this is maintaining your data as a centralized area, right? So this is our default data, so maintaining our area as a centralized area. So to maintain this data in React, this is normally in JavaScript, right? We will get somewhere from an API, and we will convert it to a normal array listed object, and we will render it in front end. Exactly like this, we will render it, right? So this is normally we will have it. So how can I maintain maintain data like this? Okay, so that is called as states. Okay, states are basically going to be, what is that? Data that are common for that particular component. What is props? Props is data that we can pass from one component to another component. You can see this value is coming from here. Okay, so here this one we need to change into React. How can we well maintainedly React we can use it? We can change it. That is going to be state. But props is passing the value from one component to another component, which piece of data that want for that particular component. Okay, that's what it is. So now what we need to do, we need to create something like this, but not the way of JavaScript, the way of React. Okay, so to create a state, we're going to look into start with the first hook. So we're going to use a hook called useState hook. So just going to say const square bracket. Okay, and I'm just going to say data set data equal to use state hook. And you can notice this, we need to destructure from React. It is an object, so we need to destructure from React and we need to take up it. Okay, and what does this means? Whatever you need to pass it, whatever the data that you want to pass it, you need to pass that one inside this state one. Okay, instead of writing it in a React code, you can write it like a JavaScript like this. So right now it is going to be an array, right? Array listed object. So what you can do is, just cut down the array object and paste inside this state. Okay, and minimize it. Okay, and remove this one, okay, and once you remove this one, instead of list you can use data. So the data is going to contain all the data that we are having. I just going to say data and I save it. You can see there is actually no changes has happened, but we are worked more with React basis. Okay, so what we have done, what is this use state is done means, well, we created a state. So state is a centralized place where all the data are get stored in that. Sir, can we write this data in JSON? So actually you are getting data. I understand when we are writing, when we are getting a data from API, it will comes in a JSON. But once we comes in a JSON, we need to convert into a normal array object. Then only we will use it. Okay, in JavaScript, we getting a JSON, we need to convert into an array object. That array object is only we are looking into it. You need to change your JSON into a normal array object. Okay, so any data type that you can pass it, any JavaScript data type that you can pass it. Exactly how in a variable you will store some data, right? Same like this, you can pass any data. Okay, so not JSON. So if you're getting a JSON, it will be look exactly like this one, square bracket and this object, right? The array nested object you will get it. Then you need to convert to normal array object and you can store it here. Okay, fine. So what we have did is, we need to know about what this use state is, right? So I'm just going to say console.log. What is use state? Use state is a function, but what it is returning, we need to see it, right? I'm just going to save this and I'm just going to click on inspect. Okay, you can see this is actually, we are to find out this. I just going to say find out that one particularly. Okay, let me click this to find out that one and I save it here. Clear the console, refresh. What is use state? You can see what we are getting is, we are getting undefined. I just called what is this use hook. I just want to know what is this use hook, right? So use state hook is. So I just called this. You can see what we are getting. You can notice this hot sign. I just put to identify it. What we are getting is undefined. It is an array. Actually, this function, this use state function, is going to return an array. That array in 0th index it's undefined, and first index it is a function. Okay, note it down that First 0th index, it is undefined, and first function is going to be a function. These two things only we are destructuring. You can see data and set data, right? So data is the value that is coming from 0, and set data is coming from function. So what is the 0 and 1? What it is storing is whatever data that we are passing inside this use state, it will be come and store inside the first index, and this function is used to change the data inside your change the data that you are having. For example, if I pass 2 and I save it, scroll down, you can see what we are getting: an array that contains 2, and here we are getting a function, and this function is used to change the data. Okay, a function that is defaultly given is used to change the data. So same like this, here instead of 2, we are passed an entire nested array nested object. Entire array nested object. So instead of this, this entire array nested object is go and store inside this data. So now if I hover over this data, you can see the data is an array of object, array of object. That object contains image, title, and excerpt inside it. And what is the set data is going to be? The set data is a function that is used to change the data. Okay, that is used to change the data. For example, let me give you a demonstration. I just remove this. Before that, we need to debug an error. I just go and click on inspect, click on the console. You can notice that we are having an error called this: each child in the list should have, don't care about this manifest error, that is nothing, useless, and don't care about this class name, because we know that we need to change classes to class name. We are using Bootstrap, we need to change it. Here you can see each child in the list should have unique key props. So what does this mean is, whenever you are rendering a component, okay, you should pass a unique key props to that component. Why? Because like I said, JavaScript, we will write an imperative programming language, but here it is a declarative programming language. So when it comes to declarative programming language, uh, React will go and change automatically the DOM works, right? Which will DOM, it will do this. Okay, so it will track according to it. But here, this component is going to have any unique identification mark. We are rendering the same component again and again. So if I want to particularly change something here, React will get confused whether I need to go here or I need to go any other component. Like will convert. So what we need to do is we need to pass a unique identification mark. Okay. Basically, the unique identification mark. When I say unique identification mark, what it is going to be in a data? It is going to be an ID. So ID is contains some unique identification mark. So that's what you need to pass it. What you need to pass it, just use key. Okay, inside this key props, you need to pass some unique identification that will be changed accordingly. Right now we don't have anything, but you can notice that we can able to get the index. The index is going to be changed every time the object is also changed. So what we can pass is we can pass the index here. Now we can save it, go for the console, click on the inspect, click on the console, just clear it and just render it. We are getting an error for changing the class name, that we know, and we are getting manifest error, that is fine. Okay, we are getting this, right? This is the one thing that you need to change. So second thing is, like I said, the data is contain all the data. The use state is managing over all the data, and here inside the data we are rendering it and we are using it. And what is the set data is going to be? Well, the set data is used to change the data contained in here, right? So what can I do is, so this is going to be our final state. With the help of this only, we can tell this is my initial state and this is my final state. I can tell it. Okay. So let's see how can we do this. Means here what can I go with? I just going to have an reset. Okay, we're going to have a button. We're going to have a button. Button is going to contain reset. Okay, you can see it will come like this. So what can I do is I just going to cut it down and I can create a div top of it. You can create fragment also. So it is also exactly look like div, but without any value. You can put it like this. It will be used to divide and group the things together. Okay, and I can create a button. We already have a button component, right? We don't want to go that much. We just say button. I just want the button. Okay, and I just want to say reset. Right? Scroll down. Here we're having the button and reset. Okay. Quickly dot button. Okay. So width equal to 50% of the screen, and padding top and bottom equal to 20%, 20 pixel. That is huge, very huge. 8 pixel. Okay, like this. And font size equal to 18 pixels, like this. Go for here and add the class name button. We're having the button. Okay, and then to display block. Okay, we are having this reset button, and here I just give the margin. Sorry, like this. Okay, so if I click this reset button, I just want to remove all the blocks. Means I just want to empty out my data. Here the data is contained, the array, everything, right? I just want to empty out that. So how can I do this? Okay, so here comes the DOM property. What we can do is you can use the on click. Okay, so here you can use it. Here you can use the function that you want to perform. So the function I just want to perform is, I can say, just call, this is the function set data. Okay, set data, and you can set the data as an integer, like this. And now if I go here and I just going to click this, you can see what has happened. The entire data is removed from my application. But you closely notice one thing. Now the DOM operation is completed, right? I interact with the website, something has happened, some HTML, CSS, some changes has happened, right? So which means some DOM work I have done, but I haven't tried the document.getElement by ID, go event listener, go there, like go and get this one, that one, right? Anything I don't did, right? So what has happened here? Well, this is the way this React works. So simply what we are doing is, here we are creating a state. So the state contains all the data. Okay, basically if I want to manipulate anything, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change either a data, a style, that is a data, and inner HTML, that is a data, and everything is a data, right? It is going to be, I'm going to change some data. That's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is, here is, when React renders the component, when I just refresh it, what it will do means React will be set the data according to the state. It is going to set the data. Okay, when an event listener occurs, okay, in an event listener occurs, we can just, this is my starting state. In starting stage, I contain all the data. In starting stage, I containing all the data. In ending stage, what is my ending stage is, if someone clicks it, I need to remove the data from here. That's my ending stage. Okay, so starting stage, ending stage. And how this ending has happened, we don't know, but React will perform according to it. What is the best way to perform, it will do it. Okay, so what we are doing is, when someone clicked the button, I am running a function. Okay, I'm just invoking a function. That function is set data. So the set data is the function that we are destructured from the use state. Like I said before, use state contains two things. One is the data that we are having, the data that we passed to the use state we having, and set data is going to be the function that is used to update the data. And here what I'm saying, well, you having some array nested object. I don't want an array nested object things. Just remove this. That's what I'm saying. So now what can I do? A better way I can do is, I can just remove this. Okay, and I can say const list equal to, just going to paste this data, and let us consider this data is coming from somewhere. Okay, and I'm going to say this as my initial data. This is my initial data, and here this is going to render the list. Okay, so instead of reset I can say click to see, like this, click to see. So now what is happening? Well, my initial data is an empty array, and right now I'm not getting anything. When someone clicks it, what is going to happen? The set data is going to update something called as list. So what is list? List is the data that contains some array nested object. Okay. Now I just save it. Just going to click here. You can see what we get. We get it here, right? So initially this is my data is going to be, and if I click here, my data is updated and the updated result is showing. So how the process is happening? So the process is happening. We need to understand how React renders and how React re-renders. Okay, how React renders and how React re-renders. So what is mean by this? What is mean by this? So simply React render the component when the state initially React will render it. Okay, we initially whenever we are rendering the component, I just call the component. React will render everything. Right? How React will re-render also. When it will re-render is whenever the state is changed, it will re-render. Notice that here the state is changing because the set data function is to change the state, right? Once the state is changed, what will happen is React will re-render our component. So once the data of the state is changed, React is going to render and re-render the component. So to notice this clearly, if you want to notice this clearly, let us go and inspect console, just clear everything. Okay, and what I'm going to do is here I just going to say return, right? Console.log. Okay, and this, sorry, this is going to contain this, and I just going to mention it as one. And you can notice this one is going to run for 2 times. If I just save it and I just going to refresh this, don't care about those errors. What happened? Okay, I'm running it in the component. Not here, inside the component. Okay, here. I just save console. Okay, you can see right now React rendered. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So right now React is rendered. Okay, so now if I click it, you can notice that again it is going to render it. If I just scroll down, if I click this, you can notice this again it is rendered and it is just produced the result what we wanted, and it is just showing here. Clear? So this is what happened. So initially a state is set, React is rendered, and whenever you are changing the state, okay, no matter what, how many times you are changing the state, that much time React will render the component, that particular which state component is changed, that particular component is going to re-render again and again. So this way what we can do, I have my initial state, and if someone clicks it, that is going to change it to my final state. So this is the state that we are having. Okay, so this is how we will achieve, this is how we will manipulate our DOM manipulation without writing the DOM operations and everything. We just use the state, and in the way of declarative programming I will tell this is my starting stage and this is my ending stage. Right now I know this empty array is going to be my starting stage, and this loaded array is going to be my ending stage, right? So this empty array is a starting stage and loaded array is going to be my ending stage. Once React is rendered, if someone is clicked, then I need to render this ending state. So that's what I need to do, and I can perform it. Okay. So now let us do some extra works. Okay, some extra work, and we will under that. Okay. So what does that means? Here we have another thing also. So what is the another thing is like conditional rendering. So based upon the data that we are having, we can make a condition, and based upon that we can render our component. So what is mean by that? So conditional rendering is basically if else class. We will write it. If this is, then you need to write something. If that is, then you need to run something like that. We will do it. If else, right? Same like this. Here we can use conditional rendering, but not using if else. We will use ternary operator ES6 again. So how ternary operator will work means, for example, you can see this. Okay. So here you can see I can write a condition. Okay. Here I can write a condition. I'm going to say data dot length. Okay, data dot length is not equal to 0. Okay, is not equal to 0. Okay, then I need to render this one. I just want to return this one. Can I just type it? Okay, so this is the condition that I am asking for. If the data dot length is not equal to 0, then I need to render this one. Okay, else I just want to say loading. I just want to render an h1 tag or another component. Okay, I just say loading like this. Okay, so now I saved this. Okay, I just give a refresh. Now data dot length. Okay, I just sorry for this. Just what I have done is, so here I can write it. Here I just done a mistake. Sorry, I just want to write data dot length. If data dot length is not equal to 0, okay, instead of clicking functionality, I just going to write something. If not equal to 0, then what I want to do is I just want to perform this action. I just want to map through it and I just want to go for it. Okay, else if data is equal to 0, then I want to run loading. Okay, okay, so now you can able to see we are getting loading. Because why? Because initially the data length is equal to 0. So the equal to 0, then what will happen is, what is going to happen? It is not satisfied the condition, so it is going to render the component loading. But once I click this, what will happen? The state is set. Now again it will comes and it will see this. Now what is data dot length? Now data dot length is contain big thing, right? It is not, the length is not equal to 0. It contains more thing. So it is not equal to 0. Then what we are having? We are mapping through each and every value and we are showing if the length is equal to 0 somehow. Okay, if somehow this is whatever the value that is inside this length is also removed, then what will happen? It is going to be, it is going to show me this loading component. Okay, so this is how we will perform. This is what conditional rendering is. Okay, this is what conditional rendering is, and we will render according to it. Okay, so if something is doing that, then we need to do this like that. We will do it. Okay, this is the basics of conditional rendering. So now what we're going to do, instead of providing the data and we are getting the data from here, we can get the data from an API. Okay, and we will work on it and we will create an application for ourselves. Okay, so let us don't care about the list because I'm telling this here. The list is going to be that. That is why. So let me remove this also. Okay. So what it is going to be right now? The state is 0. Okay. Right now the state is an empty array. So that is why it is showing me loading. Okay. That is why it is showing me loading. Okay. Once the state is rendered, without making any delay, I need to render another component. Okay, I need to render another component that need to set my state to an external, that need to get from an external API. How can I do it? So let us go for and look for some block API is available or not, or else we can go for some other API. I just go for fake block API. Okay, just search for it. We will find it. Okay, we have something. This folder is there. Is this for fake? Just a minute. Let me see any blog API is available. Type hold. No, it is to do. It is for to do application. I just want user ID, title, and body. And you can see this API's title is going to be something they have written. That is fine, but this API is fine for me. So now what I want to do is, you can see this is in a JSON format. Okay, I need to convert this to a normal array object. Once this is completely done, okay, I need to render it. Okay, so for better understanding, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to comment out this one, and we will create our condition from scratch. Okay, or else go here, close it down, open it here. Okay, close it down. Okay, do one thing. Why we are wasting time, like keeping the same thing? What we do, we can go for app.js and remove all the imported thing. This also, just close the div. Okay, and where is coming condition. Okay, with this. Okay, now everything is removed. Just refresh it, everything will go on. So okay, it's time to our project section. Whatever we have learned, with the help of this, we're going to write our project. Right, we're going to create our own project. Okay, so we will see how can we create it. Thing is, someone asked me about the function component, right? So what we can do is, what we can do what we can do, we can create a blog here. I just going to say, let me go for this API itself, and we will work on it. Where somewhere we will get the API, right? What is this? Where is the API? Fake API. Give me some fake API, dummy JSON for data for development. Create your own fake JSON API. Just go here. No, it's for creating my JSON. I don't know my JSON. Okay, I just go here. Okay, let me take up this one. 100 post is there, and let me take this one. Okay, so it contains so much of things. Maybe take this is our API endpoint. Copy this, and where is my file? Where is my file? I created file. Okay, ecom. I just want it here. Okay, okay, and I just going to say block. Okay, this is going to be block, and here we're going to create. Yeah, here we're going to create our main blog application, right? So just going to say main.js. Okay, this is going to be my main.js, and I'm going to pass it to app.js, and then I'm going to take over here. Okay, so what can I do here? Inside here, I can say main of C caps letter. Don't forget that one. That is important. Yes. Okay. So main. So here in this, let us go for here. Slash it here, and we are getting this M. Okay, that is fine. So now it's time to create our component. So the first fine functionality is rendering our component. Okay, so I'm just going to say list block dot JSX. Okay, and I'm just going to say or of CE. Okay, make it caps list block, like this. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set my initial state. Const, with the help of use group, const, it is going to contain block and then set block. So you can give any name according to you. Okay, and this should be, not should be, you can, it will be preferred. Like set block means it will be easily understand. Okay, I'm going to set the block like that. Okay, this is easily understandable. And here I just going to use state It's going to be an empty array. Okay, nothing is there, and it's going to be an empty array like this. And here, based upon this block, I'm going to write something. Okay, so here, first of all, inside this div, let me contain an h1. Okay, contain my blocks. My blocks. Okay, time text align center like this. Okay, and I just want to import this one. No other thing is needed. CSS may be needed, button no needed, main needed, all other things is not needed. This one, and here I just want to import it. Okay, this is our first component, that is going to be list block. You can see we are having my block, and now next thing, my block, here we are having. So next thing what I'm going to do is, the h1 is completed. Now I just want to render my blocks, right? So I just give a comma here, and I just ask for margin 20 pixels. 20 pixel top and bottom, it will be fine. And now here I just going to say, I'm going to render all the component that is getting from my block. So I'm going to run it with a condition. Okay, so what I'm going to run it means, if the block dot length, okay, if the block dot length, okay, is equal to 0, triple equal to 0, okay, then if it is equal to 0, then I want to run a component called, that is going to be a loading component. Okay, a loading component. Else I just want to render another component. Okay, I just want to do something, not component, I just want to do something. Right now it is an empty string, so I just want to create this loading component. Okay, because loading is not defined, let us go and create a loading component, loading.jsx. Okay, and I just say rfc e. Okay, loading.jsx is here, and this is contain loading like this. Go for list and just import, not here, yeah, here, import loading from loading. Okay, so now what we are getting, length is not defined, length dot length, length cannot read the property of undefined. Okay, just a minute. What we are getting, blog or blocks, blog. Okay, cannot set the property for undefined. Why it is not setting this property? Right click, inspect console, undefined. It is saying this, there is an undefined one. Use state. Okay, sorry, it is an array. Just destructuring like an object. Okay, so you can notice this small loading thing is here, right? So I just, what I'm going to do, I just going to replace it with a GIF icon. Okay, so GIF image, GIF image. Okay, go for Jiffy. Yeah, you can do, if we get something like this, that is fine. You can create the component and you can do the animations also, that is fine. But for our time cases, we can go and we can add something like this. Okay, so here what I can do is, I can create an img, okay, image soc, and here we can add the image, come a little bit faster. Okay, so meanwhile, okay, it came. Okay, I just want loading GIF. Loading GIF. Take over anything. Come on. I'm not thinking. So I just going to copy the image address, anything. So I don't know what we are copying, but we are copying this and we will see it in your React. Okay. And yeah, this is what we have copied. We go for some other things like this, copy image. Okay. Let me keep this one. We don't want to waste the time. Okay, don't not even copied. Okay, which image got lucky? It will come here. Mhm. Okay, so this is our loading image. Okay, so I just going to say the class is going to be container. Okay, so this is our loading image. Nothing is there, then this is what it is going to be loading. Okay, so now what I want to do? Now what I want to do is once React rendered this component, I just want to do something. Okay, so I just want to do something. How can we do? How can we do it? So once React rendered, I need to get an API. Okay, get an API and I need to work on it. So for that only, we have another hook. Okay, that is going to be use effect. So what use effect will do means basically once the component is rendered, as soon as the component is rendered, the use effect hook is going to run execute its code. Okay, that is what use effect will do. So let's see how it will work. It is going to use the use effect hook. Use effect, you can see this, right? Use effect hook. This is basically use effect. It will be taking up a function, what it need to run. Okay, and you need to give a square bracket, and inside the square bracket you can tell for which all are the changes I need to run it. So if you don't give anything, what will happen is once this is run, once this statement is run, once the component is run, it will run. And not only that, you can add here if some state is changed, I need to run it again. So you can add it here. Okay, if you don't give anything, that is okay, fine. So here you can I can say I'm going to say console.log hi. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just going to stay a bit. You can see, notice that what is happening here is go for the console. You can see we are getting hacked. Okay, so here I just going to say console.log 1. Okay, what happened? Okay, it's not, it's a JavaScript code. Sorry, I'm pasting here. Console reactor return react. Okay, where this is coming console block. Okay, console block, and write it here like console.log. No, yeah, now it is fine. So now notice this block 1 and 2. Okay, so what is, I just refresh these. I just going to refresh here. What we are getting, block is an empty array. So first the state is set, then this is rendering. One we are getting. Once this component is rendered, as soon as what is happening, this use effect is rendering, right? You can notice this. Now what my work is, well, the component is rendered. If the length is 0, what I want to do, I need to show the loading, this loading functionality. And once it is loaded, this use effect is going to run. And once use effect is running, I need to set this to an, like this empty array to an some other array. So how can I do this? So for this, we need to work on the asynchronous function. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, okay, it's going to be a fetch. I need to fetch the data. So the data that we're going to fetch is from this API. Okay, I hope that you all know API and how to work with that basic JavaScript only. So just going to fetch it here. Once every data is fetched, Then what I want to do, some person asked me, can we store it in a JSON, right? So basically what we need to do, storing JSON is not useless, like we are not going to use JSON data to store. We need to convert to a JavaScript array object, then only we can be able to use it. So now the given fetch is going to return as a promises, which means it which means it is going to inside that I'm going to get a JSON only. I need to convert that JSON into and some other thing. So how can I do this means? So once it is completed, okay, once it is completed, the response what I'm getting, I just want to pass that to rest.json. So what this JSON will do, it will pass down each and everything to a normal array object. And once that is done, then I want to get it, right. So I'm just going to get that as a data, and I want to display it in our console.log data. Okay. So now what we are going to get, in console is blog 1 and the data that we are getting from here in a JavaScript array object format. So let us go here. Just, yeah, you can see clear here, and I refresh here. Let's see, blog an empty array 1, and whatever the data that we are getting from the fetch API, we are getting, it's going to be an 100 information. Okay. So 100 information, what all of the things are there? Body, title, ID, user ID. These all are there. Okay. So these all are the 100 information that we are getting from the external data. So now what can I do is, we can, instead of console.log, what can I use? I can use the set block. Okay. Set block, and inside the set block, notice down, what is this? This is an array nested object. Here also we have empty array. So what can I do? I can pass this data. So now what will happen? Now what will happen is, when JavaScript reads the code, we are going to have an empty block. So it is going to show me loading. Okay, this loading functionality is going to show. Once it is loaded, as soon as the API is going to fetch the data. Suppose if it is take some time, we will show the loading to the user. So we don't want to show any, if you don't show anything in the waiting time, then the user will left. So I'm showing it is loading, please wait. Okay, so it is loading. So once it is fetched everything, okay, then I'm going to set the data to the hook. Okay, once this date is set, what will happen? Again it will run, right? So what all are the result we going to get in the console is empty block 1, and then once it is settled, a block that contains all the array, and again 1. Empty block 1, block contains all the array, again 1. Okay, let's see this. We save it. Empty block 1, block contain all the array, again 1. So why? Because initially it is 0 empty, and it is going to show me this, is going to show me 1. And once it is done, and here in the use of it is going to run. Here we are setting the data. Once the data is set, okay, once the data is set, what is happening? This use state, now the data has changed. Once the data is changed, again it is going to render the component. Then only it will show it to us, right? Again it is going to render it, and it is going to do this. And you can see this loading is gone. So why loading is gone? Because right now the block.length is not equal to 0. It is equal to something, right? It's 100. It is equal to 100. So here we need to create the component for it. So how can we create the component? The same. Go for here and add here, and I just going to say our comp.jsx. Okay, and I just going to say R of CE. Okay, change this to caps. Okay, and here we are going to get a props. Okay, and this is going to contain an h1. Okay, and then it is going to contain a paragraph. Okay, and then it is going to contain a button. Okay, and I can say click to see. Okay, here I just going to give the class name as button. I do one thing, instead of this, let me copy some good styling, because we don't want to waste the styling. this code without image. I need a code. I need a code. You can see this one. Title this is absolutely fine for me. I'm just going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, and only thing is you just want to remove the width. Okay, you don't want this particular width, and it has 3 chords. I need only 1 chord. I just remove this, and I just remove this also. Okay, just want to pass only 1 chord, and that's it. That's it. So here we're going to have this, and now if I save this, go for React component, and here in list, instead of this empty string, I just want to render comp comp component. I'm just going to render it, and if I render it, you can get what happened. Comp comp. You need to render it for 100 times. Okay. Body text, body title. Why end start? Okay, like this. Okay, we are rendering here. So now, okay, I think we need to look into this one. Okay, so now what we need to do is, I just want to render every time, like all the things. So here I just going to write the map blog dot map. Okay, this is going to be a function. This is going to contain the value. I just going to say blog item. Okay, a blog item, and here I just going to mention this as return the comp that we are having. Now it is going to render it for me 100 times. It is going to render it for me. Okay, how many blocks is that? Now what can I pause is, I can pause item as our blog item. I can pause it here. Now let us go for component, and in this props we have this items. Okay, so that is what inside that I just want to destructure it. It is going to say const, okay, props dot items. Okay, this contain title in the API. We know that, right? We go for API. Let's see what all are it contains. It contains title. It contains body. These two things. These two things what I wanted. I just replace this with title, and I just want to replace this with body. Okay, now if I save it, go for our React, you can see this props dot items. I think items, not item. Yeah, now you can see whatever that we are getting it from the API, it is rendering everything. Whatever we are getting, that some it is coming from some other language, so it is looking like this. I just control, we can see this, right? So this is how the blog, like you are created a blog, and the blog has a blog API. You can take over and put it here, and just structure it here. It will be rendered it here like this. Okay, we are rendering here like this. And now what I want to do, you can do anything that you want to do is my2. Okay, so just a margin space. Okay, my2 and then mx12, like mx5, like this. That will be look like this, and you can add it here. And I just added here. So now you just want to say, if I just reloaded it, you can see the GIF item is not coming, but initially there will be a delay. Loading will be come after that. It will render it. You can able to see the loading. If somehow the fetch is taking some time, the API is taking time to load, what will happen, it will load it. Okay, it will load, the loading will show to us, and then it will render the component to us, and we will render it like this, like this. Okay, and you can structure it according to your wish. You can just structure yourself. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me add some other functionality and then we see that. Um, goal. Okay, now let's taking up this deflex. Not here. Go for we can store this everything in a div, and this div is going to contain the class name deflex. Okay, now deflex wrap. You can use the container like this. Like this. This is fine. And now you can add. You can, if you, this is basically heading it from the API. So now you can perform whatever thing that you want to perform, and you can add it. Okay. For example, let me create a light mode and dark mode functionality. Okay, how can we create it for our application? So what I want is, here I just want to add a button. Okay, I just want to add a button. So what I'm going to do is going to be, I'm going to create a component. That is component is going to be our button component. Okay, I'm just going to say button dot j dot jsx. I just say rfc e like this, and this is going to be contain a button. This is going to contain a button. Okay, and I just going to say, right now this is going to be empty. I'm just going to say dot. Okay, so here if I want to perform the dot mode operation, what I can do is const again state use state and this is going to contain uh, we can say like this is basically going to contain dot mode, and then we're going to theme. I can say like theme, and I can say set theme. Okay, do theme. Okay, so here it is going to contain an object. That object is contain the text. Okay, the text of the HTML, the text of the things. Okay, so the text is going to be an I can say light. Okay, it's going to be light, and another one is going to be uh, we need to set the background color, right? I'm just going to say background. Okay, I'm going to say CSS. We can add the class CSS class, and I just going to say the something like light class. Okay? These two things that we are having, light, and one is light and another one is class. Okay, so now what we can perform is, in this container I just going to say class name. Right? This container we can add this to the class name. Okay, go for CSS. We should not add like this. Okay, so instead of this, what we can do, this is, that we create two things in CSS. One is the entire body color, right? Entire body color is going to be the background color. Not like this, like this. Yeah. Okay. So we can activate. Where is the button? Button JS is that, right? So here we have this everything, whole set of things is there, and no, here we don't want to add it. Where is the list? And this is contain everything. Where this another one? It is our comp.js, right? This is also not main.js. In main.js, so main.js is going to be our this one here. Here only we're going to have the classes and everything. We're going to have it here. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to create a component before and we need to add it. That will take some time. So what we can another thing that we can perform is we can perform and not toggle event. Yeah, we can what we can go for it. Here what we can perform is by changing this. Okay. So I'm just going to say h1, leave the h1. Here we can change the body color. I don't want this one. Okay, we're having this. So what we can do is we can create a button for hiding, then we will show it. Right? So what I can do here, I can say a button for hide, a button that is for hide. Okay, okay, and I will say like this. Okay, and let us go for app.css margin 30% bottom middle and with 20 like this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is if someone clicks it, I just want to hide this one. How can we do this? How can we do this? That's the thing. Okay. Remove this, go here, and we're having this button here. Now what can we do this? Someone clicks it, I just want to hide it. So I'm just going to say on click. Okay. Before that, we will set the state const. Okay. Const um, display set display and set display equal to use state. Okay, I just go pass a boolean value true. Okay, so now here I can simply come to this container and here I can add a one thing that is comes under style. Okay, style, and here I can write like this. Okay, what can I write like this is I can say display. Okay, display display. Okay, the value is like this, and here I can write the JavaScript code. And here I can say display, which depends upon the data. If the display is true, the display is true, then what I want to do is true, then the display is going to be a block. Okay. Okay, this is going to be a block, not this one, question mark. Okay, else it's going to be none, like this. So now you can see we are getting block. So instead of block, I can say container, 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 like this. Remove this one. I think I made a spelling mistake. Container, container. Okay, container is going to be the class. I just want to say flex. Or we can add it in the class. Okay, let me add block itself. Okay, block itself like this. Okay, so we will do like this, or we can do one thing. Instead of this, you can use the class name and to class name. Okay, the class name, if it is not, I don't want to write those things, just simply write like this. The class display, don't want to write this. Okay, if it is going to be the display and I just want to say container. Okay, now it is fine. And if it is not, then it is going to be none. For example, if I just going to be change this to false, then what happen? Container is going to be none. Okay, I need to set, I just want to set another no container. Okay, and I just go for app.js, no container, display none. Here. Okay, like this. Come here, no container, no container. Save it here. Just give a refresh. Display none. Okay, button, button, remove container, no container. It is equal to like this. What is happening? It's true. Okay, you can see the loading, right? It will like that. And if it is false, then it should be like no container. What is this? Just want to hide this one. Why it's not hiding? No container. If we make this to false or a null, it's still showing false. False. Okay, let me finish the functionality, then we can debug it. So I can go for this hide button and I can say on click. Okay, on click equal to go for set display. Okay, set display equal to, and not, I just want to say not equal to, not display, opposite of display. That's it. Now let me click this, click this, click this. It is changing, but no container. Why it is showing display none? I think we write it correctly only, right? In app.js, no container is equal to display flex. We just say background color 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚𝐫. Click this. Yeah, it is working. Okay, then why it is not hiding? Just want to say display property none. Okay, I just put it in a string. So if I click it, gone. Again, gone. Changing CSS like this. Okay. So I just put it in a string. That is why it is not accepting the string. That's it. Okay. Here you can give the smooth transition to show like this, how it need to show and everything. It will be there. And if you refresh it like this, click this. This is what it is. Basically, what you are setting as an initial state, it will be there. I'm just going to set it as a true. So initially, it will be true, and you can see this loading comes and goes, right? That is the thing that it will arise. And if I hide it, it will go like this. Yeah. Then we create multiple components in single components. Like when I want to add navbar, button, slider, switch, API, does it in the same component? You can create multiple component also. For navbar, you can create in a separate component and you can add it here. You can sorry, you can add it here, and you create a button component somewhere else. You can add it here. But the thing is, whenever you want to use a particular functionality and you want to change it here, then you need to be here. For example, here if you are creating a button, you can add the button here. Okay, so you can create the component styles and everything here. Okay, and you need to put it in the right place, and the states are should be whatever you are passing the state, whatever you are giving the state, so that should be, it will be accessible inside this only. Okay, so if it is needed as a property, you can pass it in a different function. Okay, so that is the only one. When we are starting, it is a confusing one. That for example, if I write this button, if I write the whole button or functionality in a different place, that is wrong. I can create a button and how the button looks in a different component, but I need to write the functionality here only. I need to write the functionality here only. Then only I can able to access the state. Okay, because here is the component I want to change it. Here is the component I want to change it. Then only I need to work on it. So that is what the exactly same thing. So here the write mode, dot mode also the same thing only. So here in no container we have this, right? So instead of this, I can say background color black, like this. So click it, you get the black, white, like this. Okay. So where you want to add the particular component is plays an important role. It's where you want to adding a component, and you can able to handle the entire state from here, and you can able to use it. Okay. So depends upon the place where you want to add it, you can add it. Okay. But you can create your styles in a different component, because that will accept a different property. Once you are feeling like, for example, note it down. This is a component that is repeating, right? So I can create a separate component for it and I can store it here. Okay, so I'm not able to, I'm not only here, I can use it entire project also. That is what the core functionality that we have different. Okay, so this is an API project. Basically, it is an API project. Uh, we are getting this one. The same thing that you need to do it for another API also. You are getting an e-commerce API. The same thing you need to do it. Only thing is the HTML you need to change it, right? And you need to pass it. So only two hooks only we see for the basics. Only use effect and use hook. Okay. And we have so much of things is there. How to manage a state and how to the user of hook is there. So much of hooks is there and so much of other things is there. And those all are comes under the advanced React workshop. That is we going to teach it in the next Saturday. Okay. So that's all for today. Hope I get some people get some insight here.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry for that. So, like I said that the attendance form is shared. If you people like, if you want to fill the attendance form, you can please fill the attendance form. So, those who want to fill that, first thing. And second one is, previously we will conducted the workshop in the weekdays. Right now we are conducting in the weekends. Weekdays we are providing projects each and every week. We are yeah, we are processing the projects. So that is a recorded project. So you can watch it and you can add it to your portfolio. Those who want to build your portfolio, you can just add it to it. And the weekdays we are connecting workshop starting from HTML to, we are moving on to front end to back end. Like we are moving on. We completed HTML, we completed CSS, we completed JavaScript. Right now the React is get started. So the React Advanced, Node.js Basics, Node.js Advanced is going to be there for this month. It is going to be taken by Biswas, who is going to be the founder of TWD. So if you don't want to miss those workshops, just give a like and subscribe and just click on this bell icon. You will get notified whenever you want to notify. And also we have our WhatsApp group also. You can join our WhatsApp group also. So I just share you the WhatsApp group also. We have tons of WhatsApp groups. So you just I just share one of the WhatsApp group. You can join it. And if any update is happening, we will update there. Okay, and you can just join there and you can get the get coming from here. You can just join here. Just a moment. Okay, so from that you can join it. I will share you the link. I will share you the link. How can I connect React project on GitHub? So it is going to be basically the same. How you can do this is, either you can use with the help of terminal, you can write it. Okay, so you can write it, or else what you need to do is, you can drag and drop your project and you can add it to this. And for GitHub, let us wait for the next projects that I'm going to uh, provide you. So in that project I will show you, we will create a React project. Maybe we will create it, and once we created it, I will show you how can we connect with React, and step by step with GitHub how can you connect it and how can you keep track of your changes also. We will connect it. So wait for our first project, 13th. Okay, so 13th is going to be the first project I'm going to share. It's going to be live, and wait for it. You will get to know how we can use it. Okay, so I will create a project and I will show you the demonstration also during the time you show it. Okay, so that's all, guys. That's all for today. And yeah, so like I said, if you feel the content is value and worth, just give us a thumbs up, or just want to post it in your social media, just post it down. And just communicate with us and we will be there. This everything is completely free. You can access it and you can watch it. And if you want any code files that we have worked today, just join the WhatsApp group and ask it in the WhatsApp group. We will provide the code in this WhatsApp group, and you can get the code and you can just serve this. This is a completely beginner friendly workshop. This continuous part is going to be take part in the next upcoming live. Next Saturday, it is going to be the advanced React.js workshop, and after that Node.js advanced. We're going to so on, like we're going to complete till backend with project also. So week end workshop is going to be there. Thank you, Saija. Thank you for joining. And if you need any codes, if you have any doubts, you can just ask it here. And whatever the project that we are doing, and whatever the resources that we want to share, and whatever the updates that we want to share, we will share it in the WhatsApp group. So see you in this WhatsApp group, and we will communicate through the WhatsApp group. I hope it's a 4 hours of workshop, and it is a recorded one only. People join. So much of people joined previously. I know that, but it is hard to listen for the continuous 4 hours. Those who be there, thumbs up for you guys for YouTube, LinkedIn, and also in Twitch, the live streaming. Thank you for that. And yeah, those who are not there, the live is also there. The recording is also there. You can watch the recording and you can fill the form anytime. The live is also included, like 2 days. You will this, and once you fill the form, you will get the certificate within 2 days. Okay, which means before Sunday evening, you will get the certification. You can get the update in that group itself. Okay, so yeah, that's all. That's all for today. Guys, thank you so much for attending this workshop. We'll see it in the next workshop very soon. Thank you all.